who is politics then is in these dubious things. That helicopter is acquired from legitimate sources of income and not the amount which they are putting in social media to please themselves. That's my helicopter, yes. And I'm a businessman. Even when I came into politics, I came in as a businessman. You don't have to rate me by the salary from parliament. Don't insult your politician.
Former Foreign Affairs Minister Joseph Malanji has been saved by the court from spending more nights in custody after he was granted 10,000 kwacha bail in his own recognizance with 2 working sureties.
Like the Vice President said, as for now, our backbone is actually the judicial. When you look at what I've decided for, it's actually not prosecution but persecution. Records in the banks in Zambia here are available. We've gotten loans from these banks, millions of dollars. The records are available. And to cite someone just because you're a politician, to say every politician must be painted black, if the thief is actually very irresponsible.
On Tuesday, the Drug Enforcement Commission officers arrested Mr. Malanji and former Secretary to the Treasurer, Fred Sonyamba, and charged them with the charge of willful failure to comply with the procedure on supplementary expenditure. DEC also charged Mr. Malanji with possession of 2 helicopters and 3 properties which are reasonable, suspected to be proceeds of crime. Mr. Malanji, who spent 2 days in police cells, had applied for bail in the High Court after the Drug Enforcement Commission refused to bond him and gave him a condition that they would only do so if he availed registration documents for the aircraft. In delivering a ruling on the bail application Thursday afternoon, the High Court said it was illegal for DEC officers to demand that they would only release Mr. Malanji on account that he provided documents for registration of the helicopters and the contract for Aya and Gibson Air Charter Limited. Meanwhile, Patriotic Front Party Vice President Given Luwinda described their arrest as a painful experience.
I have to say that this is a very painful experience. A painful experience in a country that is led by a man who at every moment talks about rule of law. And one is made to wonder, is it him who is giving Zambians lip service when he says rule of law? And in the comfort of darkness, he's instructing officers to do the opposite? Or is it the officers who are not reading his lips correctly? Is it the officers who are misunderstanding what he's saying when he's talking about the rule of law? These questions obviously cannot be answered by us, they have to be answered by himself and his operatives. It is totally unbelievable that 2 people are charged jointly. One is given bond and the other is denied bond. And when you look at the composition of the 2, one was a civil servant, the other was a politician. Is this an indication of the fact that the man who's governing this country is so against anyone who opposes him? Is it because Malanji belongs to the opposition PF that he must be denied bond and that lawyers must battle to secure bail for him?
Miriam Kemba, reporting for Kamni TV News.
Kampyongo told me to sing a song. We waleti, lungu takabombe, we chikunyonge, chikunyonge. Thank you. Emila nuale panga shonse, vale kwedela e, nombo yu waleta. Wazangi mukaka kwa ima shukuru mwilasa mapawantu. Titwa musenda tatuwa masangefu.
Former Home Affairs Minister Stephen Kampyongo has safely arrived in Chinsali district for his formal charge and arrest for the offense of endangering safety contrary to the Civil Aviation Safety Act. More details in the phone report.
He arrived at Chinsali Central Police Station safely from Lusaka for his formal charge and arrest. Former Home Affairs Minister Stephen Kampyongo, who was summoned by police on alleged endangerment of safety of an aircraft and its passengers, was received with emotional remorse by the Patriotic Front PF members. The Shwangando lawmaker, who recently beat his election petition case, was cautioned with the offense of endangering safety contrary to Section 8F, Cap 445 of the Civil Aviation Safety Act of the laws of Zambia. Mr. Kampyongo, who arrived at Chinsali Central Police Station at exactly 13:53 hours, is detained at the police station while waiting for his lawyers. Particulars of the offense are that Kampyongo, whilst acting together with others, allegedly endangered the safety of an aircraft and its passengers at Kalala Ntweke School grounds in Shwangando district on the 2nd of January 2015. Henry Lompa Jr., Zanis, Chinsali, Muchinga.
Mukaka kwa imwe shukuru mwilasa mwa pawantu. Titwa musenda tatuwa masange. Mukaka kwa imwe shukuru mwilasa.
Of the Civil Aviation, who recently beat his wife at Chinsali Central Police Station safely from Lusaka for his formal charge and arrest. Former Home Affairs Minister Stephen Kampyongo, who was summoned by police on alleged endangerment of safety of an aircraft and its passengers, was received with emotional remorse by the Patriotic Front PF members.
It has ended in tears. Stefan, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I really hope that you are well. I hope you are alive and good. And remember what we talked about last time. Last time I told you about the importance of having an alkaline state with regards to your digestive system. So what we usually do on Z Corner is, when we start broadcasting, you need to have some water. I've got almost a liter of water. This is 900 milliliters. So, and then I also, usually drink, I make sure that my diet is alkaline, because a lot of you have got this misconception. And a lot of processed food is very beneficial to you. That's actually false. You should make sure that whatever food you are ingesting, it has to be alkaline in nature. If you're going to be doing that, right, you're going to avoid a lot of diseases. But anyway, I digress. My name is Brother Muna, also known as Mnalula. Welcome to Z Corner Community TV station. And in today's topics, we are going to be talking about a lot of things, okay? I know a lot of you are here for the fact that you want to talk about somebody's baby mama, but we're not going to do that. That was just a hook to get you hooked. Yes, I am a genuine marketer. So we are going to be talking about a few topics which are very interesting to me. And I really think these are going to be very instrumental and very fundamental with regards to the preparation of the 2026 general elections. Now, I know a lot of you are going to be saying, but I'm going to 2026, totally and all that stuff. But wait, I have a genuine reason. So one of the topics that we're going to be talking about is President Hakainde Hichilema's asset recovery team and the anti-corruption fight. Because she did not recover. I'm sure a lot of you who were working in the previous regime, right? Obviously, I'm sure you're shivering, because if you are found wanting, it's not really going to end up very well for you. And then we're also going to be talking about the Joe Malanji and the Turkey money heist. We're going to be talking about that. Is this something politically connected or Bwanji? Yeah, then we're also going to be talking about Stephen Kampyongo's arrest. And by the way, he was given bail, so he's absolutely out. And why is he being targeted? So I'm sure a lot of you remember this particular situation. So let me just play and give you a refresher, because a lot of you have got very short memories. So yeah, hold on. So I hope Murifelaka. And by the way, please continue sharing this video. Share the video. You already know the tradition on Z Corner. So I want everybody watching this video to take 1 second of their life to share this video right now. So let me just play you this. This is from way back.
Vampela machina. Valemba machina lonse. Number 1 police ni Kampyongo. Number 2 ni DC. Naba iche vali posa amabwe ndepo ya list. After 11 August, tukabombera po.
So let me just play that one more time.
MP, nama officials bandi, bampela mashina balemba mashina lonse. Number 1 police ni Kampyongo, number 2 ni DC naba iche bali posa amabwe ndepo ya list. After 11 August tukabomberapo
Emko aichapara kwati vabomberapo and varebomberapo. But let me just give you the backstory, because a lot of you are going to, be misled. So this is the Post newspaper from back in the day, right? We had a situation where some cadres attempted to bring down a helicopter in Shiwangandu. So obviously, if you guys can add 1 and 1, you already know what's going on. Anyhow, what else? Abantu badera that they want to talk about somebody's baby mama. No, we're not going to do that. By the way, the big man yesterday was having a birthday, so happy birthday, happy post birthday to Honorable Bowman Lusambo. I really hope that you enjoyed yesterday's birthday. So a big happy belated post birthday to Bowman Lusambo. I know we are late because yesterday we didn't stream, so happy birthday to you, Honorable Bowman Lusambo. We genuinely mean it. Yes, the other topic that we're going to be talking about is obviously the protests in Malawi. Now, this is something which is very, very interesting, and Zambia could potentially be in a similar situation. Okay, so I'm sure you've seen what's happening in Malawi. So yes, it's really going to be a hot day, hot conversations, and we're going to be talking about these things. So 2026 Malawi protests, everything is interconnected. So I want everybody to grab their pens and papers, because you are definitely going to want to watch today's episode, because the economy is a very good factor which is going to be affecting the 2026 general election. So are the UPND preparing for 2026? Are the main opposition political parties preparing for 2026? Now, today's conversation is going to be free consultation, because 2026 is up for grabs. It's like a 45-55% scenario of who's going to likely take that. It depends on how these political parties get to maneuver and how they are going to be playing the game from now till 2026, because the economy, the world economy, the incoming recession, everything is going to affect people. Now, I want you to go and study what is happening in Malawi right now, the general outlook of the citizens in Malawi, and how the political arena is shifting in a certain trajectory. So, abantu barandati, abamano, smart people learn from other people's mistakes. So this is a very good wake-up call with regards to all the key players in the political arena. And, we're basically going to have a free consultation to all the political parties out there. And, the people who are going to be very savvy, they're going to take advantage of this particular live stream. So remember, to all the people watching me right now, kindly share this video on your timeline and in 5 different Facebook groups. And remember, if you really want to be part of this conversation, because so if you really want to be part of this conversation, kindly check the link in the comment section below. Now, I know a lot of you are going to be saying, can you link? How do I become, or rather join this live stream? You guys, you already know the drill. You already know the tradition. The link is always in the comment section. So don't you start typing and asking how to be part of this conversation. So prepare yourself, don't come here, muma boxazi, mubulangeti. No, do not do that. Be prepared, because I'm going to get aggressive, and I'm not really going to be nice, because I'm not naturally nice, if you know what I'm saying. So I can see Brother Oscar has come through, the usual suspects. So remember, if you want to be part of this conversation, the link is in the description below. So before we continue today's topic, I want more people to share this video, because who shares? Come on, ladies and gentlemen. Tieni nayo. And remember, grab yourself a lemon. If you don't have any lemons, grab yourself some water. Remember, health is key, because we want to have healthy citizens. Because mu 2056 ngatohamba kwa kuiminina pamanani pama presidential ballots. So we need you guys to be healthy. And this is one of the reasons why I'm telling you, research alkaline diets, alkaline foods. Alkaline foods will prolong your life, and you guys are probably going to be living a happy and healthy life. So, Brother Oscar, hi, how are you? Good evening. Unmute yourself.
Hello, good evening, Muna. How are you?
I'm very good.
I'm okay. The weather is wonderful here. It's cold, but it's quite a very beautiful weather.
All right.
And,
so, brother,
and I'm okay.
Yes, Brother Oscar, tonight we're having some sort of international stream. I'm sure a lot of Malawians are going to be fighting with us because they're going to be like, how dare you talk about our country? This is our country. Do not ever dare to talk about Malawi. So today, or rather tonight, we have to minimize with the local lingo. You know, I understand sometimes you kind of mamo, but let's just keep it on. Let's minimize it so that everybody, hopefully the Malawians are going to be able to fully comprehend and understand what we're going to be discussing. So anyway, let's get right to it, sir. So 2026, what factors do you think are going to be very important? By the way, I'm not really going with any hierarchy with regards to our topics. We're just going to be all over the place because need free flow. So according to you, how is 2026, or rather, how are the 2026 general elections going to be sort of what factors are going to affect the winners of 2026 general elections?
Well, on the provision of what might happen in 2026, it's not easy for me. It's not easy to predict, Mr. Muna. I can just imagine. I can imagine that Zambians have gone through a lot in the past 7 years, and they will never tolerate anyone to cheat them any longer. That's what I can see, I can perceive from what is happening. I think Zambians, we are not talking about a political party here. The suffering for all Zambians, those who benefited and those who really suffered hunger, they suffered unemployment, too much unemployment. In the history of our country, I think there's never been unemployment as we have seen for the last 7 years. Graduated young girls and boys, no employment. Nurses, no employment. Teachers, no employment. And some of those who were employed, some of them, they never got paid. I cannot give the reason why they never got paid, definitely because I don't think I'm in that capacity of explaining how and why. But this is the reality. We would like to say what we've seen, what we have ahead, what I've ahead from the most of the Zambians, a lot of suffering. So if there has been a lot of sufferings, the next elections, 2026, will be very, very serious. And no political party, this is just my advice. I got your preamble, I got your introduction by saying maybe you might stand for the presidential as a presidential candidate.
That's after 30 years, not in 2026. After 30 years, in 2056 or something.
Okay, so if you might stand, it means you have to start building yourself. We have to. We are aging. Many politicians in Zambia. Time to play with the Zambians. I think it's over. It is enough. They have played with the people for a long time, just like our colonialists. They did. They played with the Africans because, first of all, they did not want us to go to school. That was the first weapon of our colonialists. They avoided to allow us to get educated. Now, we as Zambians, how can we think of such a thing? not leaving the people in their ignorance so that you can govern them. That is so cruel. That one is, that, Mr. Muna, I can assure you, that's what I have seen to my family members in Luapula. Many, Kusamfya Kuria, oh sorry, you said in English. Many people in Samfya, many people in Luapula, in that area, many people, they, up to now, some of them, maybe they can even believe that, oh my goodness, we have lost our savior. Now our savior has been fished out. They have brought us this guy, this, many people. The reason? Because of a lot of ignorance. Our people, a very high percentage of our people in Luapula, if there is anybody from Luapula, I think you can even tell me whether I'm lying or I'm telling the truth. The high percentage of our people have not gone to school, Mr. Muna. They get married at 16 years, if not at 13 years these days. 13 years they get married. Now look at the damage. What is the perspective of a young girl getting a marriage or having a baby at 14 years? What do we expect? They are going just to accept and understand, and they are going to be those people who side by people that I don't accept myself, who says politics is a dirty game. Politics, it's never a dirty game. The people, some of the people who play politics, really they play it in a dirty game. So 2026 elections, according to me, Zambians are no longer going to tolerate any people, any politician who cheats them. Thank you.
All right. So, Brother Jason, what factors affected the 2021 general elections? And according to your own perspective, how, or rather, what factors are going to be affecting the 2026 general elections?
Thank you so much, Brother Muna. And before I comment, let me start by saying good evening to you. And good evening, fellow panelists, especially a very big good evening to Brother Mpombo that side. Even though you have refused to use local language, but I feel if we just constantly use the English, which is foreign, we are going to leave actually a number of people out of our discussion because most of them are not going to be understanding. So I will just ask to say we'll be mixing here and there so that at least we cater for everyone.
Correct.
So personally, according to what I observed, the factors actually that influenced the outcome of 2021 general election is because one, people, they were a bit awakened. They were able to see the wrongs. They were able to detect that these things which the politicians call as manipulation, it was actually something which was foolish. Look at Kadarism. There was too much Kadarism during the reign of PF. So that made people actually to lose confidence, which PF actually gripped on the ground from the people. And people were unable. There were a lot of issues, Brother Muna. There was no freedom of expression. There was too much corruption. There was anger. There was frustration. So according to myself, I think what is going to affect, what is going to influence the 2026 general election is how the current regime actually is going to work. Is how the current regime, the UPND, is going to convince people, is going to be able to show the people the change that they promised. People were promised actually that Kadarism will be no more. This one, it's a plus for the UPND. They have done it. They have scored that one. People were promised to say they will be actually given employment. We are still waiting for that. People actually were promised to say they need to see the rule of law. We haven't seen that yet. But kudos to the Anti-Corruption Commission team. We have started things started happening, the arrest. So people actually, they have got some hopes. So now, one thing I can put clear is the only problem that we have actually as Africans, and actually that has made our politics to be dirty, is because for long, Brother Munalu and the fellow panelists, including the viewers, for long as Africans, we have refused to embrace change. We have refused to embrace change because in any society where development actually is effected, we need to embrace change. So what is going to affect the outcomes of the 2026 general election? Because, you know, there is a mixed up of perception of the people on the ground. Is going to be dependent on how people are going to understand the effect of change. When people change, when people begin to say we need to shift from this way of life to this other way of life, actually that is going to work. Now, if UPND is not going to be careful to sensitize individuals, if they are not going to take time actually to sustain the promises that they have made, I'm sure you know there is a 50% of which UPND can rule just for 5 years. Because when we look at the voting pattern of Zambia, Mnalula, you know what it is. So it calls for the current regime actually to engage in a lot of sensitization. They have to sensitize actually the electorates. Like Brother Pombo mentioned to say, these politicians of ours, they have capitalized actually on the ignorance of the people actually who give them their votes. They are not told the truth which is supposed to be given to them. So what is just going to determine the outcomes of 2026 is actually the way UPND is going to deliver, both sustaining the promises that they made and also giving much time to sensitization of the electorate. Because if we are going to allow the electorates on the ground just to hold on to their beliefs, their culture or whatever and the like, I'm sure it will be a tricky game. Because you even hear what are the current opposition party, the main current opposition party, the PF, which are doing. They are forgetting that actually the monster which they created themselves, it is the monster which is following them up. But because they have understood to say people are not ignorant, they are not learned enough, they are still in ignorance, they are still covered, they are even calling for people actually to give an uprising to the current government. So what we are saying to the viewers who are listening to say, we need to understand to say, if we are to develop the country, we need to change certain issues. We need to embrace change. We need to move from the way our forefathers used to live in the past. We need to move away from the way PF led this country and embrace the change actually that we are seeing. If things are not going to be okay, they are going to lose it all. But I believe, Bali, as him being steady, he has promised to say he's going to set a bar so high so that it will be very difficult for other opposition party actually to penetrate. But we don't know what he meant. We are watching, so we cannot comment much beyond that statement. Thank you so much.
All right, so yeah, that was a very good breakdown. So panelists, I can see there's a lot of people who've joined, and I'm going to give you opportunities to give your opinions. So basically, in a nutshell, the 2021 general elections were basically based on lawlessness and because they were taking advantage of the Zambian people, and Zambian people were basically fed up. Too many cadres, too much corruption, etc. But according to my forensic research, right, 2026 general elections are going to be about the economy and the welfare of Zambians. Now, this is a part which is very interesting because I want to share with you something which is very profound and which is something which is going to sort of have an effect on the 2026 general election. So I really hope, gentlemen, that you follow the world economy and basically how everything is happening with regards to the traditional markets, the S&P 500, and Europe and all that stuff. So basically, what you're looking at, gentlemen, at this particular moment is the S&P 500. This is the mini futures, right? And we have been having a very good bullish market ever since the 2022 coronavirus dump. This happened on 12th March 2020, right? And ever since we've been having a bullish market. And if we flip over to the monthly time frame, right? If you look at the chart, right, since 1999, this has been the highest performance of the traditional markets. They've been doing very well despite the coronavirus. But at this particular moment, right, we could be having a tipping point where we have a bear market, like what happened in 2008. Gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen on the panel, I'm sure you remember the global recession that happened in 2008, right? So if you can look at the graph, this was the bear market, when we had the recession. But if you look at this particular graph, we haven't had a market recession in a very long period of time. And just take a look at the performance of a lot of different countries from an economic perspective ever since coronavirus. We had this little bit of a dump, but the Federal Reserve had to come in and they saved basically the world from collapsing from a financial perspective. But how long can they be able to do this? We've got a lot of different retail chain stores in Africa and all over the world sort of closing shop. A lot of people are losing their jobs, and this is bound to happen. Now, let's go to today. Okay, because recently we sort of had a mini sell-off as far as the S&P 500 is concerned. So I don't really know whether you can see this, if I can zoom in. So ever since the past few days, right, we are having signs of the market topping off and potentially having a sell-off. Now, this is not really confirmed unless we start sort of producing lower lows and then just going down and further confirming the bear market. So why did I tell you this? This kind of generally determines the outlook and the performance of the economy in general. And this is one of the reasons why the economy is going to be able to determine how different companies, different countries are going to be performing. So let's say, for example, the traditional markets all over the world have a bear market, right? That really means everything is going to be stagnant in Africa, all over the world. We experienced this in 2008. And what usually happens is the economy changes the sentiments of citizens. Citizens are affected by the economy. If a lot of different companies in Zambia start closing, mines Vaisala, mines are sort of having financial trouble, a lot of banks lay off a lot of people, right? The sentiment and the outlook of citizens is going to change. And who do they usually blame? They blame the government, right? So we have a high probability of the world having an economic recession between now and the next 3 to 5 years. And this is going to happen during the rule of the UPND. Now, the question is, how will the citizens of Zambia react to the UPND if the world has an economic recession? If the world has an economic recession, right, then everything is going to be, it's going to be hard for the UPND to sort of do what they have to do and for them to keep the economy afloat, because it's not really going to be their fault. It's just the timing. This is a natural, cleansing of the markets. Every 10 years, every 10 to 15 years, 20 years, there's always a market recession. It's natural. But the UPND are going to be in government when this world recession, which is going to potentially affect a lot of other countries, each and every country is going to be affected. You already remember how 2008 was, right? Everything got affected. So technically speaking, it won't be the UPND's failure of fault. It's just the market recession which is doing its thing. But the people of Zambia are not really going to be thinking about the world economy and the recession and all that stuff, right? They're basically going to be blaming the UPND. So what things are the UPND doing to sort of have a cushion for the incoming recession? Because the recession is definitely going to come in the next 3 to 5 years. Even from now to the next 5 years, it's bound to happen. It's projected to happen. So how the UPND is going to be able to have a fallback plan and keep the economy afloat is really going to determine their survival in 2026. And remember, citizens of Zambia, just like Brother Oscar said, the tolerance levels are very minimal. They've been dwindling ever since the past few years. So people are quick to react. A long time ago, right, a lot of citizens of Zambia would give the government some time. They would be very tolerant. But this time around, right, the lifespan and the tolerance levels of citizens is very important. So due to the fact that there's going to be an incoming market recession, right, the citizens are going to react in a certain way. So if opposition political parties are going to be able to benefit and use the incoming economic recession to their advantage, they might have a fair play. They might have a very good chance to sort of, have an opportunity to emerge victorious. So basically, 2026 is going to be about the economy and how people are going to be making money and just the livelihoods, the livelihood of Zambian citizens. So I hope you really got my explanation. Now, let me take you to Malawi, because Malawi is our neighbor. And what is happening in Malawi could potentially start happening in Zambia, because when Malawians had this new president, right, they had high hopes, because he was a savior. The previous regime was so terrible and all that stuff. But, fast forward a few years, months later, right, they are starting to realize, look, we're still broke. We are unemployed. We don't have money. What the hell is going on? This is one of the reasons why Malawi is starting to have some protests. So is this going to happen to Zambia in the next 3 years? It depends on how the UPND is going to be able to cushion and prepare for the incoming economic recession. So anyway, let's listen to some people from Malawi, because today's conversation is very, very important, and we want to listen to some Malawians. So let's listen to this man. He's actually from Malawi.
Hello guys, and of course, thank you so much for joining me today. Okay, so in Malawi, people are protesting against the government. Let me say violent protests are happening in Malawi as we speak. People are burning things, people are breaking properties, people are doing a lot of things because they are tired of the government. Irikutungamirwa na president Ariko Izvezvi, that is President Chakwera. People are saying, okay, we are sick and tired of the corruption. Iriku affecta the general public. The cost of living, they are so high, food, rent, everything, education, everything is expensive. And this is not only happening in Malawi, but a lot of countries in Southern Africa, I'm sorry for that, are suffer from poor leadership. Iriku affecta vanhu vanenge vari kuzasi, because vari kumusoro ndovega vanenge vachibenefita, but vari kuzasi they are suffering, which is not supposed to be happening mukati menyika. A president must be saving vanhu so that everyone anokwanisa kuenjoyawo benefits, or let me say just a basic life yekuti basic needs kana basic commodities hazvifaniri kunge zvichinetsa kuwana. For example, food, shelter, those things zvinhu zvekuti hazvifaniri kunetsa. The moment yekuti zvinezvo zvanetsa, it means kuti we have poor governance. So this is happening in Malawi, and people are protesting. Vanhu vari kukwara, zvinhu zviri kudamejwa. Chinhu chiri kungodiwa nevanhu vekumalawi ndechekuti zvinhu izvozvizvi zvipere, president abve. And this is not happening only in Malawi, but a lot of countries in Southern Africa vari kuface some challenges iwayaya. Ladies and gentlemen, the comment section regarding CM Maokwenyu, please let us know what you think.
All right, so basically that's the gist of it. And this is already happening in Malawi, whereby you have this savior, and there's a lot of high hopes and high expectations, and then the economy just does its thing. So these are the issues the people who are actively, actively playing in the political arena, they need to figure this out. So this is like a free demo. By the way, you can hire Z Corner and the panelists, we can advise on these things. Shameless plug, so that you can be able to play properly in the incoming election. So, gentlemen, based on what's happening in Malawi, do you think that has got a potential to happen in Zambia? And who's going to take advantage, especially the people who are defending and the people who are, on offense, the defense and the offense? Who would love to go for that one? Mr. Chola, Brother Reagan, unmute yourself. Yes, go on.
Yes, good evening, Mr. Moon. How are you?
Good evening. How are you?
Fine, thank you. The problem that we've got in African country, all the countries have got only one disease. If when you look at what's happening, all our leaders, they love to rush into the Western to go and ask what they've got in Africa. When you look at Zambia, Zambia is filth rich, but people are suffering every day. Like, when you look at, there's few things that I will tell you that I've observed in Zambia. When I was in Zambia that side, you remember, a couple of months there was gold rush in Mwinilunga, and there is only few individuals that benefited, and they took tons and tons of gold. Look, we've got gold, we've got copper. Copper, no one knows where it goes, but you're busy running to the Western to go and ask money from them. So when you look at in African countries, if we concentrate in what we have and say, let's use what we have to develop our countries, we are going to move forward, because we can't keep on borrowing each every time the country is going to borrow. No, it doesn't work like that. Look, in Zambia, we've got copper. The second largest producer of copper, it's Zambia. We've got, we've got diamond, where even some people, they're not aware. We've got manganese. We've got, plant minerals. So only when the people, shift their direction as leaders, they understand what they've got in the country. That's when they are going to understand and change the turnaround of the economy and everything that is coming. As you are talking of recession, then even if recession comes, it will just be a walkover, because you've already done your homework, as in the country.
Brother Reagan, do you believe the UPND has got the capability to, turn the narrative and just basically take advantage of our mineral resources? If so, what moves are they currently implementing at this particular moment?
Yes. Oh, thank you so much. Looking at them, how they are handling things, they can turn around. They still got enough time to turn around this. And only if they are going to invest in the youth, but not only saying we are going to invest in the youth and then they go and get, the people overseas to become investors, and then the youth, they still working. That it will be very difficult. You bring the investors and make the local youths as well useful, so that they are not in the street. Make them have the, power to control their resources in their own country. Not in your own country. Look, in Zambia, 90% are beggars, my man. They're beggars. People are suffering. There's a lot of things. So the UPND government, it's still got time. They still got room, as long as they're able to listen from us and the people that can advise them correctly, they can turn everything around and things will be well for the Zambians, as I can see. Because when you look at Zambia, there is huge potential in Zambia for each, and there's a lot of, place for each and everyone. There is no need even for people to fight for anything. Because when you look at the minerals and everything that Zambians have, the population is about 17 million. And when you compare to South Africa, just Johannesburg alone, how many people? South Africa is 50 something, but look at the infrastructure, the roads and the people. And half of Zimbabwe is in South Africa. Half of all the people, foreign people, they are in South Africa, but they're still doing it. So what South Africa has done, what is it that Zambia needs for them to develop? That's the kind of thinking. you know what, that they need to
But
do.
why do you think they don't know this? You think well, President Hichilema and his very intelligent cabinet and all the previous regimes, they don't know this? Why do you think they fail to implement?
No, you know why people fail to implement?
Yeah, I don't really know whether your internet is hanging up on us.
Yeah, Brother Moon.
Yes,
Hello?
Brother Jason. Brother Jason. But before you chime in, Brother Jason,
let me chip in, because
okay, just make it quick.
Yeah, in few minutes, because today I've moved my family. Actually, we have moved at the farm, so I need to go as soon as possible. So let me just chip in to pick it from where Regan ended.
All right,
you know,
sure,
brother,
sure.
Personally, I've come to understand one thing. Lack actually is not in the absence of resources. I come to understand lack as the presence of lack of management. Yeah? When you fail to manage resources, you are going to discover that you'll be in a state of confusion to the extent that even somebody who has a one kwacha will be better off than you. So the question that you asked to say, do you think that these guys, they don't know that they are supposed to do this and that? These guys, they know that what is needed to be done is this and that.
But why don't they do it?
There is an aspect, Brother Muna, there is implementation. You know, planning is one thing, talking is one thing, but the most important thing in life, if you want to be successful in life, whenever you plan, whenever you talk out something, the next thing that you should work on is to implement. And I'm sure if the UPND government is going to stand on this trend that they have taken actually of asset recovery, it is going to help. The reason why I've said that it is going to help is there will be accountability in the resources that we are going to have. Because actually, the sitting actually civic leaders that we have, starting from the councillors, the permanent secretaries and the like, they are going to scare embezzlement. So one thing that they should do is accountability. Then the other thing that they should look at is now, how are we going to manage these resources so that we are able to benefit from them at a maximum rate? Because if they are not going to have ideas of how to benefit from these resources that we have to the maximum, then it will mean we are going to be crying just like the Malawians are crying. And what they should know is they are dealing with the people of low education. Brother Muna, to a point we are not trying to look down upon the majority Zambians, but we are just trying to open the eyes of actually the current administration, that they are dealing actually with the people who are unable actually to analyze the issues the way you are able to analyze that we are likely to experience a recession. They will never understand those things. So now it is upon their heads now to devise some plans actually which are going to be sustainable to the benefit of every Zambian. And the only way they can do that, one of the things that we should emphasize here, they need to be sensitizing people there and then, so that people are able to understand what is happening. If they are going to take the path of the PF, because we hear them, they are saying, no, we have got experience, we have got this and that. It is not all about experience, because if we talk about experience, no wonder we are even capitalizing on the presidencies, which actually, even if they had some anomalies, we are just dwelling on those things to say, no, we need to follow the precedents which was set. No, if the presidents had some anomalies, why should we dwell on that? We don't have to do. What we are saying is we are preaching change. And the only way we can effect change is sensitization. Let us sensitize people. Let the government be able to interpret what is obtaining on the ground to the masses. They should not even be emotional because they'll be frustrated. Because the way they were expecting things, that's not the way they are, Brother Muna. Look at the effect of COVID-19. COVID-19 has affected not only Africa, but the entire globe. And it's a pity that it is the period actually that UPND has resumed power. And they are reigning during this period. So it is upon them to be intelligent enough to find ways and means of how to balance now the economy of this country. They shouldn't be at the faster rate to please everyone, because they are going to make a lot of mistakes. So they should become and very careful and very steady. So the only thing that they should work on, they should work on accountability. Let them make sure that accountability is taken seriously, especially at the ground level, because actually it is the ground which kills these political parties. Then secondly, as the top administrators, they should be vigilant enough to watch what these guys are doing, because these are some of the things actually that costed by Edgar. By Edgar, sugarcoat to think like things are okay, and in the end, the only resolution was bossy because they knew that they made mistakes. So what they should do, the current administration, is just to change the entire state of affairs. Because if they fail to embrace change, they will be victims. They will be victims because they need to understand the kind of the people that they are dealing with. So they need to make sure that actually they instill the change of thinking, the change of looking at things, especially Pabantu. People should at least be able to be enlightened. And again, these civic leaders, they should be followed up so that it. Otherwise, if they are going to make a lot of mistakes, they are going to cost the UPND government. That is the fact, Brother Muna. Everyone is crying. It is not only Malawi. Zambia is also part of it. If Malawi can cry, if South Africa can cry, what of Zambia? So it is a wake-up call actually to UPND government. Let them see the way they are going to harness resources and put them to a good use. Let them see the way they are going to actually carbon corruption, because in Zambia there is rampant corruption. They should be aware that they are still dealing with the systems actually, which we are dealing with the PF government. And the last thing, they should make sure that they communicate every move that they make to the Zambians so that people are able to understand what is going on. Otherwise, if they will be using power to say, no, it is us actually who are leading, they are going to lose the grip of the ground. Thank you so much, Brother Muna.
All right. So you're off to the farm?
I'm off, Brother Muna.
All right. Okay. Have a good one. We'll talk
thank
tomorrow.
Thank you so much. Good night, Brother Pombo. Good night, the fellow panelists. See you tomorrow.
All right. Have a good one, Brother Jason. So anyway, Induna Akiwa, Kimazewani, what is your contribution? So, Brother Akiwi, if you were Hakainde Hichilema, and there is a likelihood of having a major recession that we haven't seen in a very long period of time, how would you save the economy? What strategies would you implement now to have a cushion for the incoming economic recession, which is most likely to fall and happen during your reign as president?
Mr. Muna and the panelists.
Good evening.
Yeah, I think first of all, I was listening to the presidential spokesperson this morning that was recorded. I think the interview happened yesterday, But I think the president or the United Party for National Development is on course because what is really needed to be done is to first fix the economy, because already the government has managed to go into a memorandum of understanding with the IMF, and they have managed to get the 1.4 billion, which will allow them to negotiate or restructure the debt. Because honestly speaking, if the budget, the money for the budget is all of it is going for the giving the civil servants and also just paying the debts, then we cannot actually develop. So debt restructuring or involving the IMF is a good move, because at least if I'm not mistaken, currently the government is paying about $40 million, if I'm not mistaken. So if they are able to restructure the debt to say they pay 20%, half percent, or say $20 million per month, the other $20 million can be channeled into developing or restructuring. So to say, investing that money. And then the other issue of the subsidies on the fuel and electricity, people are misunderstanding it. And I think the UPND government is clear on that, in that currently the subsidies on the fuel and electricity is about $100+ million per month, of which 60% of electricity goes to the mines. Now, how do you give more money to an investor instead of that investor leaving more money for you, but again you subsidize the electricity? How do you develop as a country? So I think the government, the UPND,
on the issue of subsidies, right? Obviously, when fuel, electricity is increased, the cost of production also goes up high. So eventually, the citizens are going to be feeling the burn. That's bound to happen. It's inevitable. So if that happens, boom, everything, the cost of production, everything becomes super expensive. Then in the next 3 years, 4 years, major economic recession happens. How does the UPND recover from that?
Actually, the problem is this, Mr. Mona. If I got the spokesperson for the president correctly, he was saying that the price for fuel is not the best that we can get, or the lowest. So the past regime was buying the fuel at a higher price using the middlemen. Mm-hmm. And then the extra monies that were the subsidies was not actually being enjoyed by us, the ordinary citizens. Mm-hmm. You've seen. Mm-hmm. So if the government is able to buy the same commodity at mm-hmm. a cheaper price, it means that even the same commodity, yes, after some time, when the subsidies are removed, the prices will be going high. But once the new products start coming in, which have been bought at a lower price, definitely things will start going down. And when the economy has been fixed, even the kwacha will gain. So the issue of fuel going up, the kwacha against the dollar, it will favor us. I think I end here. Let others also contribute. Thank you so
All
much.
right. Okay. So we're going to pass it over to Brother Sibikonda. Then Brother Oscar is going to come through. So let me just clarify something.
Let me just add, Mr. Muna.
Yes.
Let me just have
Before you do that.
Fuel. Yeah.
Yes, before you do that, let me just clarify something. So we have Bertha Mumba talking about PF coming back in 2026. Don't really misunderstand us. We're not saying PF is going to come back in 2026 or whatever political party here. We are thinking way ahead of time. You see, a lot of people live in the moment, but you have to plan 5-10 years from now. So basically what we're talking about is how the economy is going to affect citizens, the sentiments, and potentially the 2026 general elections. We're not endorsing anybody here. We're just talking and, deciphering how everything is going to play out. You know, a lot of people love waiting until it's very late to react, but we're being proactive. These things matter. So this is why we are having this discussion, because this is already happening in Malawi. Malawi is already experiencing protests right now. The economy is affecting the sentiments of citizens. So I just wanted to clarify that to all the people who might get this misconstrued. So, prepare in advance, think about the future. Don't be narrow and shallow-minded. Kind of pisses me off. Anyway, Brother Oscar, continue.
I would like to say a word on what Induna was talking about. The presidential spokesman was very correct. Today I understood what was going on. Mr. Muna, you remember the youth empowerment. These people, They bought those tankers, those trucks and all the like, and probably they were given to their friends. Those were their friends. Those how do you call them? Tankers or what? What do you call those?
Yeah, fuel tankers.
Fuel tankers. Those were given to people who were affiliated to them. And why buying? This was very crazy. First of all, I didn't understand why. Why did the government talk about youth empowerment, and the government itself went and bought those things without asking the youth? It's the government who went and bought those things, and then they came back, without consulting the youth. Because if you are saying youth empowerment, just like this new government is saying, construct cooperatives.
Yes, Brother Oscar, you're straying from the point.
To do it. Want to start building boards. If the point is it, the increase in the tariffs, electricity tariffs and fuel tariffs, it is inevitable, because the presidential spokesman was saying these guys were getting something like 200 to 300% profit, 200 to 300% profit. So who were gaining in all these subsidies? It was the people who were doing the business, and not the Zambians. The Zambians were not getting in the subsidies. So what will happen is going to be inevitable that we pay a high price as well as Zambians. But the move is intelligent. Mr. Muna, the move of the president is intelligent, because he's going to stop the loop. He's saying, let us go and block the bucket where it was leaking. We put water inside.
Exactly.
The bucket does never get filled up. So he's closing those, and one of those loopholes was through fuel. So I think it is inevitable. We are Zambians.
I do agree with that, Brother Oscar. I do agree with that. But the majority of people do not care. They just care about the immediate effect on them. They are not going to care, and they're not going to probably understand about the loopholes, the blockages. But I understand, I get
is
it.
also our responsibility. That's why I am saying when you are talking about Malawi, what is happening in Malawi, my dear Mr. Mona, why are we going to compare Zambia to Malawi? First of all, that's the first thing you should ask. Malawi does not have the resources that Zambia have. So I think here I am not going to side by your worries, because Zambia has a lot of resources. If this government does not really change the system of governing, which I myself have seen that he is putting on implementations which are going to focus on the changing of the system of government. He is saying, look, listen very careful what this guy say. He's saying value addition. If you remember, your friends on the panel, he says in our promises, we are going to do value addition. What does value addition mean? Sooner or later, not this year, not next year, probably after 2 years, sooner or later, you will see President Hakainde Hichilema with his government. They might be doing some value addition on copper production, value addition on gold production.
Are we seeing any preparations to value addition? Because you can't do value addition by projecting it with your words. You need to set up factories, refineries.
That is going to happen, Mr. Mona. But at the moment, we have something which is so urgent. What is urgent for Zambia? To clean our debts. Zambia, the Zambians should know this. Let us not jump, because if this guy, we are pushing him to start jumping, we are not going anywhere. We have an obligation as a country. Our friends from the PF, they have left us this heavy load. We don't hate them. I don't hate anyone because they are all Zambians. But they have left the Zambians with a very, very heavy load. And that is debts. So the president says, first step, deal with IMF. Kudos. Second step, let's now start empowering the Zambians so that the money is not going to go to the Indians, to those guys. The money should go to the Zambians. This president is doing another beautiful step. And third, I would advise this. Let the president now put a law, even in parliament. I know it's not going to be in 1 year time or 2 years time, but maybe in the third year, let them advise. Mines, everything should be in the name of a Zambian. And all foreign investors, they are going to work in partnership. Otherwise, why should we talk of our independence when we have given all our resources to foreigners? Excuse me.
But are we seeing those policies being implemented now? Because, implementing a policy does take some time. If there is intention to do that.
I think now he is not touching that point. But in his manifesto, in the UPND manifesto, there is something that I like myself. Value addition. What does it mean, value addition? It means we have been exporting copper all along. The president says it doesn't help the country. Let us put a value addition. Copper extraction. What does it mean? We are going to say in 3 years' time, no more 100% copper exportation. 50-50. 50 will be processed in Zambia, and we will export with a end product from Zambia. Plate, a copper plate, roads, copper roads, products which have been finished in Zambia. And that is the way, that is the only way, my dear, we are going to solve the problem. I'm telling you.
Which is very correct, and I agree. But the thing is, where are the steps to do, where are the steps? Are we seeing any intentions right now? If they have intentions of coming up with value addition tactics, coming up with gold refineries, where are the refineries or the factories which are being set up? If there's going to be crowdfunding or sourcing of money, Where are the steps right now? Because
now in this 100 years of experience and of governance of UPND, I think I wouldn't just support them or defend them. I think there are not yet steps that can really assure us that this is going to happen, but we can foresee this in the way the president is saying. Even in the first step, Bamuna, we started crawling before we started taking 2 steps and then running, and now here with three legs maybe. You know, there are stages in life. So the first step of this president is, let us do the auditing. The man is still doing auditing, Mr. Muna. How can we project? How can we plan if we don't know even how much we are going to recover from people who have
you can
swindled?
do simultaneously at the same time. Like
Okay.
I feel you can do both things. You can do the auditing, asset recovery, while building the ground and preparing for the refineries and these value addition sort of projects. Let me give you a practical example. The mineral royalties have been given already to the mines, correct?
Yes.
They've already been exempted. How long did it take? Basically, they did this less than 100 days since they came into independence. You see, it was effortless. So that's a type of, proactivity I need to see from the UPND government. Our mines, they've already sorted them out already. And nobody's saying they need time to overhaul. We need to see specific actions happening right now. Quite all right. If you're going to be value addition, it just doesn't happen from words. You need to start setting up factories, raising money, crowdfunding, preparing. You know, these refineries are not going to happen. If they start building now, it could take 4 or 5 years. So if they start doing it in the 3rd year or the 4th year, then we're not going to get any results. So as much as we're doing the asset recovery and we're getting rid of corruption, we can do it simultaneously at the same time, because we don't really have time to be, very reluctant and satisfied, because we need to go now. And the things that really matter, the mines have already been given incentives. Their policies, the miners are satisfied now. They're happy. They're happy already. So why can't we have action right now? Do the corruption and everything together with this. There's no time to slack.
You are right. I think also your point. I accept also your point that you've made. I think planning, we can start planning just now, even if the implementation of this program maybe might take some time. But I think you are correct. Planning, they can even start now. But at the moment, like the worries that you know, that video that you've played from Malawi, at the moment, what we can say is this: our situation is very different from the Malawian friends. Malawi,
how?
Because Malawi, Mr. Muna, Malawi doesn't have.
In 2008, do you know the role the economy in 2008 for the Malawi, to come in?
Malawi, my dear, does not have the much resources that Zambia has. So we are not going to excuse the government if they cannot start benefiting from the multiple resources that we have, which our friends in Malawi, Mr. Muna, our friends in Malawi, they don't have.
No, but let's look at the past. In 2008, when people laid off in all the mines, my father was working for a certain mine on the copper belt. Everything was very bad. A lot of people lost their jobs. This has happened before. It has happened in 2008. Were you in Zambia in 2008? Literally the whole economy and everything was everything was affected. So it's not about resources. It's about a natural wave of the economy. This has happened multiple times. 2001, it happened. We had another flash crash in 2003, 2008. So it's not really comparing with Malawi. This is bound to happen because it has happened multiple times in the past.
Mr. Muna, you are right. You are right. And I think I'm happy that you have really provoked us with that thought. It is going to happen, of course. It's a natural wave. It's going to happen. But I think the stages so that we can protect our country and our economy is to be self-reliant. We depend. Mr. Muna, let us pull ourselves from slavery. we depend on foreigners, on foreign aid, on foreign investment. We depend on South African, all these things which I hate, myself I hate. Those malls, the shopping malls in Zambia, I hate them because Zambians do not benefit. 90% of the money that goes into the shopping malls goes out of the country. Where does it go? With that 1,500 payment of a young boy or young girl who is not even going to be given now a permanent job so that he can get the pension from those. Shopping malls, they give the young people 3 years of contract and then they are gone. They are gone. So they continue. The money goes outside Zambia. We want the change of trend, investment that might leave the resources and a lot of cash in the country. So I think, Mr. Muna, yeah, you're right. You are right to provoke that. The trend is going to change. Of course, the world might also go down, Mr. Muna, and that is right. But how do you protect yourselves? Agriculture, so that Valuapula, they would be producing katapa, nachikanda, to go and give the people in Copper Belt. We don't go and buy chikanda to South Africa. We will never survive like that. The president is saying, give the Zambians land. Kudos. Let them now invest in agriculture. Kudos, yes. That's how we are going to protect ourselves. The same with COVID-19. COVID-19, Zambia was not able to sustain itself without running to South Africa for importation. We were importing guavas, importing mango juice, and importing everything. Potatoes, even onions. Onions, we were importing from South Africa. Now, all this was wrong. The change of trend, Mr. Muna, can be, let us start growing for our mother Zambia. And the president is the first step, another step that you can remember, Mr. Muna. The president is going around, is opening market. When he open market, he's saying, we will start growing a lot and we will start exporting and we will attract investment. Fantastic. That is the only way we are going to survive. Thank you.
Lovely. Lovely. All right, Brother Oscar. Brother Simkonda, what's your take? Remember, stay on topic. That will be much more interesting for the viewers. Yeah, you can unmute yourself, Brother Simkonda. You're on. People are watching you. What do you have for us?
Hello.
Yes, Brother Simkonda. Yes, we're here.
Good evening. Good evening, brother. Yes, good evening to our listeners out there. Yeah, thank you so much for this opportunity once again. It's a very important topic that we are discussing because it speaks volume about the future of our country, and it's something that we need to continue so that our country is in shape of what we want. Yeah, but I have confidence in our current leadership under the leadership of His Excellency Hakainde Hichilema. I think he's going to open up more industries. That is the reason why we need this change in trade. Like the previous speaker was saying, we need these things because what is needed most is the economy of Zambia to come out of where we are so that the kwacha can start trading well against these international currencies so that we can move. And one of the reason why we are in this state, there's too much importation of things. There's too much importation of things. We need to look at that as a country. My brother has talked about that. And then the other thing is to fight against corruption. Because when we talk about corruption again, it's something that we need to fight vigorously with it. It doesn't matter who is involved in it, where that person is coming from. Corruption need to be something that is unbearable. We would like to see how the SEC and other investigative wings are going to respond, not only to those people who were previously in government, but even those who are already in government, how they are going to make them work accordingly so that they stay away from any form of corruption, because corruption is a cancer. We can't develop with it. We can't develop with it, and we cannot continue moving as a country as we witnessed in the last past years, where things were even invisibly seen to say there and there is this, and this. Yes, so there was too much harm which was done to the Zambian citizens in the ministry, especially Ministry of Health. It's something that needs to work professionally.
Yes,
We don't want to
Simkonda, I do agree. And one of the approaches that we have on Z Corner is we don't want to talk about generic things. Everybody knows the previous regime was full of lawlessness. We all know there were too many cadres. We all know we need to minimize our importation and start locally producing. Then what? So how do we actively gravitate towards reducing our imports? And what would you do if you were President Hakainde Hichilema, in order for us to minimize our, importing goods from other countries?
I think it's a very important question. For us to reduce on the importation of things, there is need of investment in agriculture, because agriculture is one of the most important things.
Where do you get the money for investing? Where do you get the money for investing? There's the looming debt crisis that we're trying to solve. So how do you raise those funds? How do you maneuver and come up with the funds? How do you get creative?
Yes, and the funds, they can be gathered in so many ways. Number one, we say there should be stoppage in leakage of funds, especially the money that has been allocated for CDF. If the money has been allocated for CDF, it should go to the constituents, allow people to come up with cooperatives, who go with ideas to say, as we want to set up this farming, for example, fish farming. People can form groups. Other groups can do in agriculture. What we need is accountability. When money is collected, accountability should be there. I think it will really help us.
Yeah, so partly I do agree with you. You need to make sure that you take care of whatever little that you have. If there's leakages, you block those leakages. Yes, I agree. But do you think that money is going to be enough? Let's say, for example, we have zero corruption, and the money which is allocated for certain activities specifically goes to those intended activities. Do you think that's going to be enough for us to, come up with factories, refineries, and just basically be able to manufacture and reduce our importation? Do you think if we stop corruption, that money is going to be enough for us to invest in manufacturing factories?
Yes, brother, I think so. And the other thing that can help us again is having more companies registered on Lusaka Stock Exchange, where even civil servants and other people can manage to buy shares. We can start from somewhere. A company can be registered. Maybe the company will just start. The people can start to buy shares. That's part of investment as well. We can do that.
Profound point. Yeah. Yes. Profound point. Crowdfunding and publicly listing companies so that people can invest in those particular companies, and these companies are going to have more money to invest and expand. So yeah, that's a very good, profound point that I wanted. At least it's something good. Thanks, Brother Simkonda. So let me pass it over to Brother Emmanuel. Brother Emmanuel, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine, and how are you?
We're very good. Okay, so what is your contribution?
Towards what is the main concern or question?
I'm trying to be nice. I'm going to flip.
Come again?
Basically, never mind. We're talking about the economy. how does Zambia get to reduce on its inputs? You know, like how can we become self-sufficient?
Okay, like in the first step, you know, the economy, you know, like the way the current government like tried to promise to us, the people of Zambia, you know, there are certain measures you can take and you can put in place. You know, changing if you change the government, everyone is eager like to hear or to see the difference after changing the government. But it just bring me to be to the attention to think over that because what is happening right now, what is transpired right now is, you know, everyone was eager to see the change.
All right. Okay. So anyway, Brother Simkonda, let's talk about the topics on today's lineup. Joe Malanji and the Turkey money heist. Stephen Kampyongo arrested. The Hakainde Hichilema asset recovery squad. What do you think about that? Is this in line with minimizing corruption and just basically getting to get back our stolen funds?
Yes, it's in line with what everything is going on, especially when you look at the arrest of former Minister of Home Affairs there. It's something that has sent a strong message to say, when you have been given a mandate by the Zambian people to occupy any public position, do it professional, don't abuse the state assets, don't abuse anything that is coming by the virtue of you being that office. So I think, yes, it's a good thing so that everyone can learn from them, because what used to happen was really a bad thing. And when you look at, it's not something which is tribal or whatever people may think. It's something that what we are sending a strong message as a country, because we are looking at the future of our country, not about anything else. Yeah.
Right. So I don't know whether Brother Oscar is still there because the video is kind of off. But anyway, when you're there, right? Okay. So I remember President Hichilema did strongly talk about the importance of the DMMU, the Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit. I hope I got the name right, DMMU. And he had because President Hichilema is a very well organized type of individual. He puts a lot of thoughts in each and every action that he takes. And this is one thing that I really love and adore about him. No homo, by the way. So when it comes to that particular appointment of a very young, vibrant man, a youthful man, what type of message and why do you think the president played that move? And basically, what I'm trying to say is, do you see this as a very good strategic power move as far as preventing corruption is, involved? I don't know whether you get my point.
Yeah.
Yes.
Brother,
Sorry?
also you can go on then.
All right. Okay. I think first of all, I would be the fact that I trust this new leader. Just the fact that I trust him, I think he knows what he is doing, and all what I deduced in that appointment was how much trust is this president investing in the youth. That's what told me, Mr. Muna. I would not tell you today that I have trust in that young man, I don't know him. I just came to know him just after that appointment, so I don't know him. I've never heard about him. I've seen that people, they've some stories, some history of this guy. He's a serious and well, a family man. But my hope is that, well, what was for me the message was this: the president assured that he was going to do things for the youth, and the president has given the position of or the position which most members of parliament were really asking to be taken to that position. That's what he said himself. So what does it mean to me? It means the president has, yes, the president has answered to the youth. Even those youth who still have doubt, the president has answered to us, saying, I trust you. I am coming to invest in you, and here you are. Show the Zambian people that you are able. So I think that's what it meant.
All right, thanks, Brother Simkonda. You can unmute yourself. So sticking to the same topic, the same question. Yeah, are you there, Brother Simkonda?
Yes. Thank you so much. Yeah, the appointment of DMMU National Coordinator, it's one of the things that I was delighted with, because when you look at the person in that position, he's young, energetic youth, and he has what it takes. He's professional. I had time to look at his academic. He's a kind of a person who has done a lot. He has what it takes, and that what we need from DMMU to be professional, because we don't need a situation where when there is a by-election of maybe the by-election are inevitable in most part of the country, maybe, or that's where DMMU will go take meal, whatever. No, we don't need that kind of DMMU. We need a kind of that will take relief food to people who need, not because there is a election, by election going on, no, but people of Zambia need what is being taken there, regardless of which part of the country is involved in. So for me, is a young man with energy, with integrity, with respect, full of energy and knowledge, is going to deliver.
Lovely diplomatic response. So anyway, gentlemen, let's talk about some very touchy subjects. So basically, Joseph Malanji says the money that he bought the helicopter was from, obtaining loans, etc. So what do you think about that? And then there's also this other, story with regards to a building, but I'm not really going to go into that because, it's a very touchy topic, and I do not want to talk about things that are very complicated in nature. So hold on, let me just share this newspaper story. So here we go. I'm sure you already saw this. The Turkey money heist, how Malanji used presidential challenger jet to collect the dollars. So Kima dollars, these are the dollars, masheleni, to all my Lozi brothers and sisters out there. So this is a situation that we're having. Now, a lot of people are speculating that particular helicopter costs around $1 million or more. How likely is it to obtain a loan with which is which is a huge and large loan, if I can put it that way? So my question to you, gentlemen, is Mr. Joseph Malanji, what companies does he run? Because in order for you to get a loan, right, you have to have collateral. You have to vindicate yourself and let the banking institutions trust and be able to give you this amount of money. So you have to show your assets. You have to show your company turnovers. And if Mr. Joseph Malanji is running a company, which companies is he running? Are they publicly listed? Do we have any tax information on these particular companies? Because in order for you to get a loan as an MP alone, if you are mostly relying on your money from the government as an MP or as a minister, because on average, ministers and MPs get less than $3,000 per month. If you multiply that annually, that's like roughly less than 50,000 US dollars, give or take. They get less than 100,000 US dollars per month. This includes gratuities as well. So it means he is not only relying on his government salary and all these gratuities, he's got extra businesses on the side. So if he does indeed have these businesses, how much tax did he pay on these businesses? What is the turnover? What is the quarterly return on investment and all that stuff? Because in order for a bank to give you loans worth 1 million US dollars, right, you need to give up and put in enough collateral for them to be able to agree with you. So do you think Mr. Bonanza, aka, or rather Mr. Joseph Malanji, aka Mr. Bonanza, do you think he's got the capability of actually showing the proof that the businesses that he runs are likely to get him a loan which is over 1 million US dollars? And what do you think about this whole money situation, the missing money, the helicopter, etc? Who's gonna go for it? Brother Reagan, you there? If you don't want to talk about it, you can skip. You can always say, I don't feel like talking about this. Then we pass it over to the next person.
Okay, no, it's fine. I can just comment a bit, though it's some trick and how these things happen. When you look at the figures that you mentioned, how the ministers get paid and all that. And somebody acquiring something such huge which doesn't even correspond to the salaries, it becomes questionable to the people of Zambia actually, and then when you look at the Turkey money heist, that can actually bring some question. How did then this person did it, until the person does what, clarify to say that no, this is what I have, this is what I have, and all that. That's when now you can really get to know, unveil everything to get to know that, okay, this person is saying the truth or not. But at the moment we can't tell, because you never know. Some people might get in the government with while they're doing business. Some they've been going there like in the previous government, where you see a cadre promoted into something else. You don't even really know the background. But when you talk of this guy, I've heard of him that he's been a businessman, though you might not know what business does he. But
companies of huge volumes are easily verifiable and clarifiable. You can easily go into the company documents, show the tax returns, the quarterly turnovers, the return on investment. It's very easy to rectify these financial type of situations. Do you think he's able to show this proof?
Hey, that's the biggest question, my man. Hey, that's where now the problem comes in. That's where the problem comes, is to show that this is what and what. So these are the factors that has they bring in the country to stagnation, not moving, because of when we tend to get power and voted in, people tend to be greedy and forget about others. People tend to forget that I'm a servant, I'm working for people. Instead, they're just saying I'm working for me and my family. That's where the problem comes in. So it's very difficult for him to say that. It's not easy.
Right. And then in Zambia, we have something which is called the Credit Bureau of Zambia, or some credit rating type of facility. So if you get one loan, okay, let's say, for example, hypothetically speaking, Mr. Malanji got different loans from different banks, right? These banks are able to know whether he's got loans from different banks. So let's say, for example, hypothetically speaking, he got 250,000 US dollars from about 5 banks, roughly. They would know and be able to know that, okay, this man is in this particular credit bureau system, and we can either give him more loans or not. We can deny his request. So all these things are verifiable. So anyway, let me move over to Brother Perry. Brother Perry, what do you think about the Turkey money heist and how the presidential challenger was allegedly used to collect dollars? And do you think Mr. Joseph Malanji has got the prowess to have a company which is grossing over 10 million US dollars? Because I believe if you're able to get 1 million US dollars as a loan, right, then that should be roughly about 10% of your company net worth and your turnover. So I believe he should be running a company which is having like 10 million US dollars as return on investment and just basically assets as collateral, basically. So what do you think about this?
Well, first of all, good evening, everyone. Well, that's an interesting question, and one thing that really bothered my mind during the prior to the elections was the proclivity by the PF to do things haphazardly. What I mean is, if you look at the timing aspect of it, why did he buy that helicopter towards the election? Why do you bring in the debt swap towards the election? So what I'm saying is, it could have been possible if you look at the money that was found with Faith. So with the PF, there could have been that collusion, for lack of a better term, with the banks, because you just say, hey, wire this money to the bank, and then they get it, and then they try to clean it up. But with the way I look at it, I know the issue is in court. I don't want to say so much because I don't have money to pay these guys. But I don't think it's possible for him to have a thorough plan on how he got his money, because it was just like an afterthought to them. It was just a plan that just came, hey, let's do that, and then the helicopters were there. So in terms of the return for investment, the ROI, it's difficult, because for you to raise that amount of money, it takes a lot of years. You would have to stop sleeping, you have to stop spending, and for me, I feel he's gonna go down with it, because not even I've worked for very big companies here in Canada. For you to make that amount of money, it's near to impossible. Like the most companies that I've worked for, big companies, you are talking about $1 million net profit, and that's really with stringent spending. So for me, I think it's going to be very, very difficult for
exactly
him
and Perry, just to add on, I'm sorry for cutting you off. This reminds me of our earlier conversation with regards to Faith Musonda, because I'm running my own business, and I'm also dealing with finances and all that stuff. So I really understand the magnitude of the input and the market that you need to deal in order for you to even make a 4 million US dollars. I remember when we were making this point, right, about Faith Musonda doing a business which is going to, casually give her 4 million US dollars. We did the basic mathematics, right? In order for you to have a surplus of 4 million US dollars, roughly you should be having a return on investment per month, which is more than at least 150,000 US dollars. Scratch it. Let me just say 250,000 US dollars. So if you look at the magnitude of the markets in Zambia, what businesses are you going to do which are going to give you that?
Here's the catch though. Because he's gonna say, okay, I've been in business for a long time. What they'll ask for is audited financial statements. You know, you find that the money that he was making won't amount to that much net profit. And the other thing is that he can say, okay, the money came from guardian angels. And then when he's gonna point at that guardian angel, they'll investigate that guardian angel.
Definitely.
I'm sorry. I think he's been caught with his pants down, and no matter how hard he tries, it's just going to be a dirty altogether. Because I'm told he bought, is it 2 or 1? I don't know if it's.
Well, for now, we're just going to say 1, and it was costing, I don't know, like upwards of 900,000 US dollars. But I beg to differ.
But the question is, what was the purpose of buying that particular equipment? What was it meant for? Was it a business? Was it trying to open a business to be maybe going tourism or something like that? The question is the timing aspect, and that's why I say even with PF. They knew that they're going in the elections. Was it this year or this year? They could have done the debt swap like 2 years ago, or midway in between. They could have bought those helicopters 2 years back. It's the timing aspect of it. That's where they're going to sink in. And I'm sorry to say that I think it's going to be very, very difficult for him to prove.
Yeah, definitely. And this is where transaction tracking is going to be pretty much effective, because you can easily see the inflow and outflow of finances, etc. Anyway, brother Oscar, what do you think about the Joe Malanji Turkey heist, and how do you think he's going to be able to vindicate himself?
Mr. Muna, on these many issues, many scandals of this former government, they are so numerous that I become a little bit embarrassed in trying to comment on them. I become embarrassed because, like the Joe Malanji case, it's under the courts of law, I understand. I would use your word. It is alleged that he might have got that money, somehow with the dubious means. We are waiting for the judgment of the police or the courts of law. That's what I would word. But I would just think, when the first argument we are talking about, Mr. Mona, you are asking a question: how can our government come out from this can protect itself if the wealth is going to start going down? And here comes now the proof. Here comes the proof. The situation or cases of Joe Malanji explains a lot. If this government is going to tighten all these loops, 3 days ago, Mr. Mona, if you can remember, I told you that here in Italy does not have resources, does not have gold, does not have diamonds, does not have copper. Italy does serious taxation. In every year, every month, the police, the finance police, they know how much money enters into my accounts and how much money comes out from my accounts. Every month. I'm not talking about every year. Every month. And this is quite the same trend. Probably here there are people who have been who are in Europe, probably. They can maybe confirm or correct me on this. In Europe, this is very serious. That's how Europe is stable. The taxation So if there was accountability, serious accountability about the resources of Mr. Malanji, today, our argument today wouldn't be so complicated, because he's just going to show, Mr. Muna, he's going to show us something like that. That is my entrances and my exits. So look at it and you will trace. Now, without that trace, then here comes now the second step that our government can do as well. Let them really tighten very seriously on that. If you have an account, even when you don't have an account, you know, Europe, accounts, we have accounts. So they trace every single coin, Mr. Mona. I cannot teach you on this. I think also you guys, where you're staying, Mr. Mona, I think it might be the same thing. So what happens to an individual who doesn't have an account? There comes now the country to control even that individual who doesn't have an account. They make an obligation, not because he's becoming a rich person. No, because you open an account, you can open an account even with 50 kwacha, if I'm not mistaken, in Zambia. 50 kwacha, let's make it 200 kwacha. You open an account so that they can try and trace the entrances and the exits. Why I say this? That is the only way, Bamuna, we can now close other loops. These people, they are very clever. Tababi Kamubanki Mpia. Even those people who have stolen a lot of money, they have not taken the money into the banks. How can we trace that? Now, I think this is what I'm not going to talk about the event itself, the scandal of Mr. Malanji. It's just a scandal, we know.
Oscar, Brother Perry has got like a rebuttal. Brother Perry, do you have any contributions to Oscar?
Well, yeah. I just wanted to reiterate that if you look at, I've never been to Italy, but I've been to Switzerland and these other places. Let's take for Canada, for instance. If you were to come in my house right now, you just find $2. There's what they call plastic money. Plastic money is that your money is in the bank. It's
in property.
Yeah, you just pay by debit, whatever, credit, whatever it is. But the thing is, if you look at Zambia, Zambia is a cash society. Whatever, a lot of people, most of the transaction is via cash and all that, you know. So the first thing that the UPND kind of like they skipped was to pass a law to limit the amount of money that you have in the house. That's where they got it wrong, because as it is right now, these people, whatever they acquired, you've sold all the property, cash is buried. So it's going to be very, very difficult for them to, you know, to kind of like, because they know that if the property is there, if you have landed properties, the government is coming, they'll get them, you know. So they're busy selling them and hiding the money. And this is the other thing that they should have done. Was the first thing was pass a law to limit the amount of money you can keep in the house, and then 2, change the biggest notes, because with all the money that we got from Faith Musonda and these other people, it was going to pay for the fees of changing those bigger notes. But right now, and that's where they got it wrong. That's why I said right now, I think it's just we wasted time on that, you know. That's my contribution.
Yeah, Brother Oscar, you can unmute yourself. Go
on. You are right, my brother. What you have said is correct. I have already said this. I tried to talk to some people there. I said, please let us change the two notes, 100 kwacha and 50. Just 150. We were going to catch them. Just 200 and
Faith Musonda's money will be used as AMA expenses. Faith Musonda's money will pay for that, you know, expense.
Well, okay, and the next thing is just what my brother have said. Mr. Munaya saying, well, we need to start now. So if this government is listening, and I know some of the people are following the Follow Z Corner, a beautiful program, if they are following, it's not too late. Myself, I know the resources they are going to retrieve from these people is just minimum. Maybe they have stolen something like 4 billion, not Zambian quite, 4 billion United States. It's an hypothesis, please. It's not the correct figure, but probably up to that much. Now,
so
what
Mr. Muka says the parliament numbers are inadequate to pass such a law, because this is where politics in Zambia and in a democracy is very tricky. You need, the numbers to back your bill and your motion in parliament. Of course, they're not just going to haphazardly implement these, laws. They need to actually vote.
Mr. Mona, if it was me, if I was the president, beautiful question that you are posing to us. What would you do if you were the president? If I was the president, I would have declared an emergency in the country. And declaring an emergency of what? An emergency to go and retrieve what people have taken indirectly. So that is an emergency. When you declare an emergency, Mr. Muna, you declare an emergency, then there was going to be a special law. When there is a state of emergency, the president has the faculty of changing some of the things. You can use a special law under an emergency. That was going to be done. But I know, well, we don't know why all these things, maybe they have not tried these words anyway to go and recover our resources. Well, it might not have been too late. It might be not too late. So let the government as well limit, just like my brother was saying. Let them even limit, because we are talking of how are we going to protect our fragile economy. How? Let us limit the cash we can hold in a house. Let us limit, or let the country make it compulsory to open an account. I repeat, Malanji pushana kwata bank. Okay, what about this MTN or this booth you say during the campaign? President Hakainde traveled a 30-kilometer distance to go and do the transaction. We are bringing a small thing in you don't need to anymore. Let them maybe try this method and make it compulsory, even if the kwacha they open a bank account even for our poor mothers and our poor brothers and sisters in the shanty community.
I think we've lost Brother Oscar there, but I think he'll be back. So, Brother Perry, your contribution.
Yes, I just wanted to say that I'll just give an example of where I am. I remember at some point when I was working as a financial administrator for one of a massive Ferguson dealership. A farmer came to buy a tractor and she brought cash, and it was close to $100,000 cash, and the maximum amount of money that you can deposit without raising questions is $9,999. So I put $10,000 and I said, "Where did you get this money? Show us the proof." So, and then I said, "Oh, it was here's the bill of sale. We saw the tractor and it was this much. Who bought it?" And then they went on and then questioned the person who bought. How come you have this much money in your house? So the reason they do that is one, to protect people, because if you're going to have a lot of money, moving around, it becomes a risk as well to the nation, because people want to pay other people to kill others, So the issue of, as I'm saying, what I'm just trying to say is that the modus operandi the UPND used to seal these lacunas, I don't think I agree with it, and a lot of wealth has gone undetected. And as I said, right now the most important aspect is just to look at those that you have landed property. Let's just get that property and then seize it, and then you can just sell that to recoup the money. That's the best thing right now. But in terms of looking for funds, I think it's just going to be a nightmare.
All right. Okay. Thanks, Brother Perry. So, gentlemen, let's start concluding. Everybody will have their opportunity to give me their conclusive remarks. So let's wind up today's show. Whatever you want to talk about, whatever you feel like talking about, this is your opportunity. Brother Simkonda, go. You've got about 2 minutes maximum. So what's your what are your concluding remarks?
Yeah, my concluding remarks is that we need our investigative wings to be at their best, the SEC to have the teeth to bite, so that all these scandals that we have talked about, the illicit monies, can come to an end, because there's no way we can continue living the way we have lived. So the investigative wings should up their games and do their job professionalism. That's my concluding remarks. Thank you.
There's no
someone else?
Yeah, I
someone
think,
else to do?
Yeah, Mr. Regan, take it up, please.
Yes, go on.
Okay, no.
Unmute yourself, Mr. Regan.
All right, okay. Can you hear me, guys?
Yes, go ahead, please.
All right, okay. What I would say in conclusive is I'm gonna even cut a few things that what we need to see in the government. They need to escalate, a lot of things like corruption must be zero tolerance. It doesn't matter who is what. They need to work, for the people of Zambia, for the development, for tomorrow's, children. Because if people are siphoning, for themselves and their own children, there will never be Zambia tomorrow. And then the other thing is, developing the country, like I said earlier on, it does not mean somebody to go in the neighbor. You need to look at what you have first in your country before you go and ask something in the neighbor. Because at some point you'd find that in your own house you've got, meal, you want to make, pap, you want to go and ask the neighbor how to prepare pap. Meanwhile, you can even do it. And which doesn't even make sense. So we need to make use of the resources that we have in Zambia if we see we are short. Because I can assure you the resources which are in Zambia, they are capable to pay all those they are exaggerating at bills and bells. When everybody in Zambia, they work together. If they work together in the mining sector, in the fishery sector, in any sector where they work together and honest and truthful, everybody works together. There are no bills in Zambia that is more than what they exaggerate, that we owe in this and this and this. Within a short period of time, all bills will be what? Will be sorted, and then they will develop. Now, when you look at previously, education was coming to zero, to almost nothing, where you find a degree holder is moving with a degree but selling cooking oil on the street, roasting maize on there, but they have put their papers, and you saw how capitalism was very bad. But thank God, I've seen the light at the end of the tunnel, that we actually moving now in the right direction. Though as we are moving in the right direction, we need also to understand, the government being advised, not just go on their own, because they might, forget other things, and that's what is important. And then the most important thing in the development of each and every country is that they need
Regan, can you hold your phone, because it's producing this unbearable sound. I don't know whether I'm the only one getting it. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
Can you get it, gentlemen? You can get it as well, right? There's this noise. You can get it.
Yes.
Yeah, so I don't know how you can minimize that. Can you just try maybe using headsets? But anyway, quickly, because it's unbearable, you know. I don't know how you can fix it.
Because my earphones, I left them downstairs in the car.
Okay, but just conclude.
Okay, let me quickly conclude. So, like I was saying, as we need to make use of the resources that we have in Zambia for us to develop, and then make sure that the education that is being given to our children, it's make out of the use. We make use of the children, everybody to if you went to school, you need to get jobs right there in Zambia, not like, I'm not in Zambia, I cannot find work in Zambia, and I can't work in Zambia, because the only thing I can come there to do in Zambia, it's business. You understand? But also business, there was no environment like that you can run business smoothly. It's only now when it's starting to do that, you see. So if everything is, put together, we all come down there and, we work together and in peace and unity, and everything will work smooth, and it will be a beautiful Zambia,
All right, thank you very much. Moses Lombanya, you can pick it up. Then Muna, you take over the controls. I just temporarily took over when
yeah, thanks, because I went for a bathroom break. Okay. Oh man, sorry for giving you that picture. But anyway, it is what it is. But Moses, what's your conclusive? You're just joining us.
Yes, thank you. I had some technical issue here, network. Good evening, everyone. Thank you. Me, I will just take on the SEC enforcement. If SEC is going to work prudent, this will make us Zambia to be the hardworking people, because that reluctant of relying in some sort of crooked ways of earning money will stop. So everyone will be fighting hard, working hard for him or her to find some financial and whatever. In that way, we are going to improve our Zambia to do the right thing. Because if we desist from this act of corruption, I hope it will attract more investor and outside those foreigners to come and partner with us and do the right business. But copying from what is happening, this former regime, even those foreigners who want to partner with Zambians in terms of maybe coming with a company, whatever, they might have some shy somewhere there, uncomfortable of coming and partner, because they know that Zambians, too much corruption, too much bakawarara, what and what. So I think in a picture, we need to remove it and start a new one. I'm hoping something is happening, but we are geared to hear more. And according to the promises which this government made, we are marking. Let them continue, and we are waiting for creation of more jobs. Come 2022, we hope to see that. If they fail, we are going to say they have failed. So let us see what we can do as Zambian. Good evening. I greet you all.
Thank you very much, Brother Moses, for that conclusive remark. So who's up next? Yes, Brother Perry, go on. Oh,
okay.
Whoever.
Thank you. Thank you. I think on the topics that we have discussed this evening, I would underline maybe the need for good taxation as a possibility to be close, maybe in changing the trend in how business is managed in the country. Business, I include also politics as well. So serious taxation. If the government can get the tax from marketeers, taxes from the mines, taxes from big fish businessmen, taxes. I think it's one of the way of curing our bad economic status in the country. Then the second thing, I think it's an obligation for politicians to do the declaration of their resources or wealth. I don't know, Mr. Mona, if the president is obliged also to declare his resources. Here in Italy, from the president to a marketeer, we are supposed to declare every year. It's an obligation. Declaration of my resources so that they can be traced. If I have Berlusconi, who is a billionaire here in Italy, Berlusconi, we know how much he has. He have 15 billion United States dollars. 15 billion. He is the richest person in Italy. Everyone knows how much he has. And we know how much enters into his business. And then if how much maybe can go out. We know, everyone, it's not a scandal. Doesn't change anything in his life. Everyone knows he's the richest person. He has that much money. He's a hardworking person. So declaration of personal resources, especially for the politicians, I think. Not only politicians, but also for big business people, especially miners, and those are the big industries in Zambia. Third, a limitation, I think, of the cash, holding the cash in our homes. I would suggest that. I don't know how possible it can be, but it would help. It would help. Just as my brother said before, even for us, it's the same thing. For me, in a day, with ATM, I can only withdraw 250 euros on ATM. In the month, I can only withdraw from ATM 2,500 euros maximum.
Is that because you're not a citizen of Italy?
No.
It's for everybody,
everyone.
even citizens.
Citizens or not citizens, everyone.
What's the highest you can withdraw in a month?
In a month, 2,500 euros. And if I cannot withdraw that 2,500 euros on, that's why these people, Italy is one of those countries which have cash in banks. Why? Because they got hold of them. The people, they put the money in the bank. So 2,500.
So how do people splurge? Let's say, for example, you want to, I don't know, buy like a Ferrari, 250,000 US dollar. How do
you go? I go to the bank. I go to the bank and get that cash, and that cash is registered in the bank, so it can be traced. So in the bank, I'm talking about taking the money on an ATM. Maximum I can get on an ATM.
I thought that was spending.
No, my credit card get blocked after transacting on an ATM 2,500 euros in a day. After transacting on 250 euro, and in the cash to get from the bank, I can get even 1 million. What happens? What is the difference? When I go and get my 1 million, the bank knows, the police, the anti-recycling and all those, they know that I have retrieved from the bank 1 million. They know. Yeah, so nothing is secret.
But Brother Oscar, I'm failing to understand. So you said the maximum expenditure or withdrawing from the ATM. Because let's say, for example, you go to the club. When you go to the club, minimum you can spend minimum like $300 in a club, $500 minimum.
Yeah.
So if you do that, Nishi, your monthly expenditure is from 2,500 euros.
An ATM.
An ATM.
Withdrawing my cash from the ATM after 250 euros, it gets blocked. ATM.
Okay, just
and,
ATM.
Monthly. So today, 250. Another day, then the 2,500 finishes. I cannot now withdraw any cash through an ATM.
Yes, but nowadays you can just use card to play. You know, you don't need, so that they can track the transactions. Okay, I get your point. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So I think on the cash that we have in our homes, if that there might be something to do there, I don't know. Well, putting a maximum, it helps the government to trace
but the only problem with it is 70% of Zambia is unbanked. You know, that's the problem that we have in Europe, where you guys are, you're privileged. Everybody has got access to cards, mobile.
But Mr. Muna, we are saying, if even we Zambians, if also this government wants to change the trend, if you want to change the trend,
yes,
that is one of the solutions. If we don't want,
yes,
my dear,
and it's going to, we need to set up a lot of different things, like even payment portals. They need to be easily accessible in shops, because in Europe and a lot of Europe, you know, developed countries, people don't even use cash. They've got like phones attached to their bank accounts. You can easily scan and do that stuff. But in Zambia, we're still lagging behind. People are still using cash because the payment portals are not there. People are unbanked. So it's that's why I said. That's why I said
you're right. I'm trying to say because this at the beginning of this program you really pinned me in the corner by telling me what should we do. So you did pin me in the corner. So now I'm saying, if at all the government would go for that direction, it's also a measure. It's one of the measures to correct the flow of this money. Mr. Mona, if that is going to be done, do you know what it means? It means we are going to know how much money these big fishes transact or get from Zambia.
Exactly.
We are going to know.
Yes, and that's why I said we need to start doing these things now. Like, in order for you to come up with that law, you need to have a facility and an environment for the citizens to, you know, to start using the capabilities of, you know, having online payments and that. So that's why I was telling you, what is the UPND doing now? Because if
Mr. President Hakainde Hichilema, during the campaign, he said, in Chawama, I don't know whether it's Choi, he said, when we come into the government, what we are going to do next time is this. We will bring an agent in the market. The marketeers are not going to go for 1 kilometer, 5 kilometers to go and do the transaction for her. They are going to do it here in the market. So, Mr. Moon, I hope you can get that clip. He said it during his last campaign. He said,
during the campaign.
Yes, please. So he said that, and that can be done. Let them bring so close to the people. I don't think a booth would do something concrete, something self, something very self.
We just need to set up these facilities. You know, that's why I was saying the UPND doesn't have the leisure to start doing this after 3 years, because putting up like a very good banking system, a very good financial system, it takes a while for even people to get accustomed to transacting and, you know, having financial transactions via mobile and using credit cards. It takes a lot to disrupt how people have been doing things. You know, so these things need to be done right now. You just can't start doing it like in the last 1 year or in the last 2 years. It takes a while. You also need the technical know-how to, you know, you need to do it from a technical perspective as well. And in order for you to migrate and put the system in place, it's going to take a while. It's going to take minimum 3 years, So if you wait and say our mandate is up to 2026, you won't have any results. Anyway, Brother Perry.
Thank you. Thank you. Good night. Thank you.
All right. Good night, Brother Oscar.
Good night, Brother Oscar. So basically, I just wanted to say something again about going back to Mr. Malanji. You know, sometimes it's you can get an equipment through financing as well. You know, so there could be a possibility that you never paid cash for it. You know what I mean? Like here, if I need a car, I will just go to the dealership. Here is how much I make. I need this car. You know, then they'll say, oh, here, oh, you're able to pay it, get it. So maybe he's still making payments for it. And then that's the other thing that I just thought about. And then secondly, you asked a question, I think, earlier on. Now I was just listening. You said, what can Zambia do to reduce the importation of certain commodities? Well, the first thing that you have to do is you have to do a needs analysis, right? Or rather, you can do your SWOT analysis, you know. And then once you do that, you say, okay, these like Mr. Pombo said that we at some point we never had onions in the country. So how do we handle that? So in my view, the best thing to do is you look at the areas that you're lacking in, right? And then say, okay, how are we going to build capacity in these areas? Okay, so once you've built capacity in those areas, and then you just put a higher levy on onions. Let's say you're going to say, okay, farmers, we're going to give you seeds for onions, and then they are at a cheaper price, and then whoever imports onions, you put the higher tax rate on onions. That would deter people from importing onions because they know that the local onions are cheaper than the ones that are imported. But one thing I've noticed about us Zambians is that we've been lied to a lot, and well, you know, for you to swallow food, you have to first it has to be cooked, right? And then you put it in your mouth, you chew it, and you swallow it, and then it gets digested. But we are looking at food in the mouth without forgetting about the steps that gets the food in the mouth.
The process.
Yeah. So we've given this man a lot of pressure, but he's doing a great job, and let's give him a chance, the support that he needs. Because like you can't compare to the other leaders that we had with him by far. But the problem is that we are very much expectant, and most of the people in the opposition, it doesn't mean that when you're in the opposition, you have to oppose even the right things. If someone has done well, you applaud them, you know. But again, it's all this mudslinging and all that, and that's not it, you know. I'm sure by the time he's 3 years in, he's going to change the dynamic of the politics in Zambia. And then coming to the Malawi issue, I don't think Zambians can stoop that low to behave like that. So we are different people altogether, and I don't expect that to happen.
Yes, no, I didn't really mean us having physical protests. What I meant is the sentiment. You see, the reason why people in Malawi resorted to doing that is because of the expectations from the regime that they brought in. So Zambians by nature, we're not very physical. You know, would rather wait and have some sort of say during the elections and when we're voting. You know, so that's the question that I was trying to put up, because if you look at what's happening in Malawi, they had a lot of expectations, campaign promises, but at the end of it all, reality hits. And the people start looking backwards and saying, look, okay, everything that we were expecting, we're not really seeing any changes. And basically they start over again. So
well, I'm one of those people who believe that a promise never changes, but fulfillment of a promise changes. So there are certain things, you know, when you're in opposition, you look from the outside within, and when you are in, you look from in and then outside. But the thing is, there's certain things that these guys. I'm not going to talk about the Malawi issue. I don't know what kind of demons he has. That's his, but. What I'm saying is that, look, this guy, based on the promises that he made, he had certain expectations that he thought he was going to find. And then when he went in there, he came outright and said, hey, guys, there's no money. And it's funny how people want things to be done right now. He hasn't even implemented his budget, and people are annoyed. It doesn't make sense to me, you know. So let's give him time. Let's give him enough rope to hang himself. Let's come June next year. Let's see if there's some change. But if we are going to expect a lot of, and it's fun, even the same PPF MPs that they're busy calling all sorts of names when they're still working under their budget. It doesn't make sense.
But the thing is, that's where we, the citizens, come in. See, Brother Perry, if you've got a solution and if you can do something about it and you are able to have the foresight of what's going to happen, you can be able to advise. And this is one of the reasons why we're having such a show, because there are certain dynamics and metrics that we can use to put up certain projections. And instead of just letting the regime go in this particular direction, you can say, look, Vane, there are going to be potholes. These potholes are definitely going to be there. And this is how you can solve them. And this is how you can avoid them. This is one of the reasons why we're having this show. So that we citizens can be proactive and add as well. It's not just about sitting back and saying, like UPND wants to, let's all actively contribute.
As I said, if you're going to envy your neighbor's roof, you don't know how heavy it leaks in there when you're inside. You know what I mean? So the thing is, right now we've said, okay, we've trusted these people to steer the ship in the right direction, right? But if we are going to expect these guys to start speeding up when the ship is still stuck, then are we trying to be sensible or reasonable? We are not. So the most important aspect is, one, let their budget kick in, and then right there we're going to have a yardstick from which we can measure them against. But
yes, but certain things don't really necessarily need like a budget. For example, start kicking off a policy. You don't need that much money in order for you to start, changing some things, some laws, etc. You don't need a lot. You just need directives and emotion going. You don't need necessarily like a lot of money in order for you to start providing policies that protect Zambian entrepreneurs, or perhaps tax exemptions, or just other basic stuff. You can start doing certain things without really going inside your budget. And this is where the intentions come through. Just like I told you about the mineral royalties, the mines have already been sorted and catered for already. But so far, we haven't seen anything for the local stuff besides the CDF, because we all know the majority of people are not going to get the CDF. Yeah, brother Oscar, go on.
Mr. Moon, I think I'll add on what Mr. Perry is saying. This our government have already made some steps forward. Cadreism is not there. How many years have we cried against cadreism? So he has not waited for the implementation of the budget. When they started in, the questions you are asking there, okay, Mr. Mona. So this government, I think the first good steps they've made is, one, cadreism is not there. Second, assurance, I would say, that next year there will be free education from primary to secondary school. Third, if you are going to be found corrupt now or yesterday for the past 7 years, the law is going to catch up with you. Mr. Muna, three major things that this man has done already. We are going to arrest you, whether it's you, Garin Combo. If you are going to do deals, debt deals now, the law is going to catch up with you. If you have stolen in the past 7 years, I am sorry, my dear, the law is going to catch up with you. Now, 3 implementations before the beginning of, I think we have to, that's why I'm saying, I trust this, what the steps that this man has done. I trust. The difference between us and Malawi, look at Malawi, Mr. Muna. If I can compare with our friends in Malawi, I have no authority to condemn them or to, but if I can just look at Malawi, the Malawians are crying because education is expensive. Look at Zambia. Next year, education will be free. Come on. Malawi protest and all these things. In Zambia, the people were protesting, Mr. Mona, the university students. What happened? No breaking of structures, no breaking of government properties, but protesting peacefully and letting their voice be heard by the government. So we can appeal. I can appeal with I close myself. I will appeal to our friends in Malawi. They can protest, yes, destroying government properties. Who is going to suffer? The president or the poor Malawis?
Yes, I understand. So basically, the point that I'm trying to make is there are two types of tactics that you can use when you're playing a game. There are offensive tactics and defensive tactics. I don't know whether I'm pronouncing that very well. So basically, when Barcelona and Manchester are playing, you need to do two things well in order for you to emerge victorious. You need to be offensive and defensive. Because if you're just defending, you're not going to score. So these things that the new Dawn has done, they are defensive tactics. It's not playing offensive. By playing offensive, by trying to score with regards to improving the economy and all that stuff, from an aggressive point of view, defensive moves, they're not going to take you very far. That's what I'm trying to say. Let me give you an example. We need value addition. How does value addition come through with regards to minerals? You need refineries. What do you need in order for you to have refineries? You need factories set up. The problem is we do not have money in the coffers. So this time we should be having strategies of fundraising. Quite all right. We're not going to get the money from anywhere else because the debt restructuring and all that stuff, that money is going to be very busy. But what things can we do now to raise the funds in order for us to build these refineries that are going to be giving us value addition privileges? If you start doing that, you're playing offensive. You're not just defending and being defensive with regards to making steps. So what I'm trying to say just to point it clearly is we need to be offensive and defensive, not just playing defensive. Because in football, if you're just defending everything, this anti-corruption, yes, I agree. It's good. And it's something that has never been done in a very long period of time, but it's not enough because it's just defending. You need to play offensive to score those goals, and in order for you to emerge victorious. So being defensive alone, it won't take us anywhere. Yes, I accept, brilliant stuff, but it's not enough, and there isn't a lot of time.
We cannot attack much. You are right, Mr. Mona. We cannot attack much now because of the heavy debts. How do we attack?
That's why I'm saying, how do we attack? By raising funds, by doing things that allow us to be able to attack, by doing things now that allow us to be able to attack. Value addition, refineries, start crowdfunding, finding other money, outsourcing money, and all that stuff.
Mr. Mona, somehow I've taken a keen interest on how this guy is operating, and then this guy is working using an agency matrix. Okay, when you look at the agency matrix, is that you have to look at the crisis. What is the crisis right now? One, there's COVID, right? Two, we don't have money. So those are the most important aspects to look at right now. So do you think I'm going to care if I see the government building an industry when people, the teachers are not getting paid?
That's why you need to do both. Look, in the strategy of football, apaso va UPND vengere nish na baba sepa 5-0 nish bola ina iseru kakade. So you can't just be defensive. Do both.
What are the
you should do both.
No, you mentioned earlier on you're playing Barcelona. You
But
want
Barcelona never me sepa 5-0 mwingine muri half time.
It's still 0-0 at this time. It's just like
How 0-0? You're defaulting on loans. There's a crisis in. How is it 0-0? You're already down.
It's because you don't have enough players. It's a game, right? So
you don't have enough. Exactly. That's why you need to be being offensive and defend at the same time. Because
you cannot be offensive. You can't.
Why?
Why? Last thing is protect that goal, and then once the Barcelona is tired, you start attacking.
Oscar, Oscar, sure. I'm going to flip now.
No, you can't. The most important aspect. No, the most important aspect is to stop that bucket from leaking. Okay, once you stop that bucket from leaking, and that's when you can start putting water in it and moving slowly. But you want us to move with the leaking bucket to
more than 90 minutes. No extra time. Chapwa.
No.
Bamuna example ya football Mwalanda, it is very well Bamuna. It's very good.
Yes,
listen,
and people can go on.
5-0. Ngana tulusa 5-0. What you do, Nefi, you change players.
We change players already.
We are changing. So yes, that is it, Mr. Perry.
Change players. Then what?
Changing players. When you change players, Eronomba Toala Tampa Konomba 5-1, 5-2.
In order for you to do 5-1, 5-2, you have to play offensive. You have to now start attacking. Players. Yes, we changed.
Change players.
We changed. We changed. Now, what idea? Half time now, Pitakari.
We've changed players. The next thing is we change tactics.
Yes.
If the ball is the other side, all of us will go the other side. If it's defending, all of us will come and defend. So that's what we are doing right now.
Brother Perry, do you watch football?
I used to play football a lot. That's what I'm saying. You change tactics, and that's what he's doing. I'm not trying to like protect him.
Yeah, I know. I'm also not trying to attack him. We love President Hakainde Hichilema, and we really worked for his, election.
Okay. Let me ask you this: you are playing Barcelona.
Yes.
The thing that you do your SWOT analysis. Use your strengths to cover your weaknesses. Use opportunities to cover your threats. So if let's say you know that Messi is gonna score, do you just leave Messi anyhow? No, you put the guy who can bring him down.
But you guys, your strategy, Perry and Brother Oscar, you're just about defending. My strategy is offense and defense. You guys just want to defend.
No. The most important thing is one, we have to tackle Messi. He's gone. He's at he's in France now.
That's defense. Then how do you score?
Eliminate him, and once you eliminate him, then at least you have a fair chance of trying to score as well. And that's
we've already eliminated Messi. PF is gone. Not Takula Kare.
No.
Then what?
We have this debt that's there. So once that debt is done, we already we've found some funding for it. So that's what I'm saying. The most important aspect is what you change strategies, and as I said earlier on, this guy is using the agency matrix. So what's the most important thing to do right now? One, people need to get paid. People need to be employed. So what are people going to say if they are not getting paid, and then you're saying, "Oh, we are building an industry so that more people can be employed"? What's the other?
I'm saying do both. I'm saying do both.
You have a bottleneck. You don't have enough funding.
That's where you can employ other people, and you can use different strategies. I keep on saying we know how to raise money, how to crowdfund. Basically, what we're saying is consult us. This is an advert for consultation. So basically, we know how to use minimal resources, even sometimes no resources, to start having revenue. That's what I'm trying to say. We can be offensive and defensive, not just defensive.
Well, and then just to agree I agree on the funding aspect. Actually, there's enough money that can be.
Yeah, this is now where we start using citizens and initiative. Amano, apopo yeso nkubomba panomba amano up. Quite all right, you've got all these problems. So what are you going to do? Use your initiative now. Be creative.
No, the thing is, what I'm just trying to stress is that we are so much in a hurry, you know, and I don't blame the people of Zambia. They've been lied to, you know. We are tired of these politicians, you know. But the thing is, as I said, let's give this man enough rope to hang himself, you know. Once that's done, and then and as you can see, like. I like the way he's so methodical, you know. He's using the agency matrix, and I look at him and I say, well, this is what we've lacked so many years, you know what I mean? Because the thing is, look, we are going to judge him by the promises he made to the farmers. If that bag of fertilizer is not going to be 250, then it means that the guy has failed, you know. If he's not gonna bring back the meal, it means the guy has failed. And the most important aspect right now is what he is doing from now going forward. You know.
Yes.
And I'm tired of seeing him, you know, complaining about what the other guys have done. We've heard that, and then the most important aspect is how he's going to drive us into the future. You know, so as I say, let's give him time, and then let's give him the support that he needs. And then if he goes wrong, we are going to remind him again and say, look, it's not working, you know. But the problem is that everyone is complaining. They want whatever they are thinking to be done at their own pace and all that. We just from the outside. He's inside and he knows what challenges he's facing. You know what I mean? So basically, he has his own distractions. He has his own interruptions. He has his own crises. And then let's see how his goals and planning will take us. That's the most important aspect.
But you do agree that football analogy puts everything in perspective.
No, I'm a very good soccer player. I should tell you that.
No, the analogy with you know, offensive-ness and defensiveness with regards to taking the economy forward makes sense, right? Ganaba Mingisha, you're down by 5, and you have to, you know, move to the next division. You just can't be playing defensive all the time. You need to get out there and try out some new things, you know. But anyway, I'm sure it's clear now. Okay.
No. Sometimes you have to learn to disagree. You know what I mean? And right now,
all right. Okay, Perry. Good. Anyway,
I'm a married man, and sometimes my wife just says, yes, you're right. And then she just kicked me in the head. Are you listening? I said, yes, I was listening. What did I say? So
and I remember Oscar. Yeah. Anyway, let's give Chambo an opportunity. Then, Brother Oscar, you come through. Chambo.
Good evening, everyone.
Yeah, can you turn on your video? We love people being visually represented by their image.
I'm actually about to sleep. I'm already in the dark. I just wanted to give a quick answer on your analogy of the football thingy about Hakainde Hichilema's stay in power. So I like that analogy. But then my question for you is, you said bola ni 90.
Yes.
So nga bola ni 90, what analogy are you using based on like that 90 minutes? Is it 5 years or just this time he's been in power? What's your 90 minutes based on that?
Okay. Have you ever started a business? I'll answer your question.
Yes.
You've said what's the minimum years that you put in order for you to see good ROE or return on investment? How long did it take for you to start working on something and it producing results?
I think it depends on the type of business, because there's short term, long term, and all that, you know. So it depends. So let's say
on average, let's use statistics. On average.
Okay, on average, I'd say 3 to 5 years.
Good. So that answers your question of time. 3 to 5 years. If the president starts working on policies and things to start improving the economy, they're going to start producing results minimum 3 years from now. Minimum. If he starts tomorrow, tomorrow he wakes up, he polishes his shoes, implements these policies, starts putting things in place, is going to start producing results minimum 3 years. Coming back to my analogy of ball in 90 minutes, if tomorrow the president starts effectively putting in these implementations, right, and the results are going to be produced after 3 years, and we don't even know whether that's going to work or not, because that's just the minimum threshold. So do you think he's got enough time, and the 90 minutes analogy is not valid to you? I hope I answered your question.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. I think it is enough time. Okay, but we wouldn't know, because like the state that the PF left the country in, it's so. I mean, we're already seeing what's being unveiled slowly and slowly and slowly. I mean, probably
PF has already gone. PF has. It's more like you had your bet. You had. Okay, it's more like a relay. Yeah, in a relay, right? A marathon relay. And the person who's supposed to pass you the baton, nalwala mumala shiki, nalwala shiki. And for some reason, they didn't get to you on time, and they were late. So you can't start blaming them. It's already your time to start running and change the situation.
That doesn't make sense, because for me, I understand the past. The past will represent the future, right? The past brings out the future. So if your past is so bad, I mean, like you said in that analogy, the one who's passing you the baton, Adwara Mala, and then he passes you that baton late. How are you supposed to catch up on someone where I'm Dala? You know,
just worry about what you're supposed to do.
You might be Hussein Bolt and all that, but the chances of you catching up are very, so you have to look at it at a different perspective. He has to obviously fix up a few things of the past that happened, and of course, this thing of bringing back the monies and all that. So I feel like in this 5 years, for me, if I don't expect him to change everything in 5 years, at least the basic things should change, like the economy. Like me and you having a meal on our table should become something that's not, I wouldn't say hard to achieve, you know what I mean? At least should be something
with the incoming recession.
Well,
guys, do you remember 2008? Are you actively trading these markets?
Yeah.
Do you know how the industries are going to be disrupted by a recession? Do you know how much quantitative easing the Feds are, the Fed is doing, and if that machine is cut off? Do you know how?
That's true. But don't you think he already knows that? I mean, for these people to move the way they're moving, they must have a plan for it, right?
Well, and the other thing, Muna, is that instead of looking at what he's doing, we are busy looking at what he has not done.
Yeah.
And in this process, we are forgetting to appreciate what he's doing. Let's look back. Let's see what this guy has done. And then after some time, we'll castigate him on things that he has not done.
Getting back to my football analogy, he's only done defensive things.
No. Defensive. How valuable are the defensive things that he has done? That's the most important question.
But it's still not scoring. No matter how many times you defend, you need to go into the next division. You need to get points.
Muna, what I'm disagreeing is that for you to score, the ball has to come from the defense upwards. And you are forgetting the process from you are just looking at scoring the goal, but you're forgetting.
No. Don't get me wrong. I'm looking at both. You need to do both. My game plan is do both bloody well. Do both bloody well. Defend, score. You need to do both very good, very well.
Yeah, but the ball hasn't crossed the center half yet. And then you are busy blaming someone. Let the ball.
The PF already gave us a 5-0.
We are still in our own half. We're still moving forward.
Minimum results 3 years. You guys are missing everything that I'm talking about.
Mr. Muna, no, please let me intervene there. The analogy you are putting in football is very good. It's okay. Now, forever they on a ball, if let me answer you. My team here in Italy. My team here in Italy. My team here in Italy, AC Milan. AC Milan. When we went away from Champions League, the company started investing in young people. So what you are saying, Mr. Muna, you are right. The government has come into power. They need to start also attacking. How do you start attacking when you lost, first of all? You need to start a long-term investment. Do not pretend to start harvesting is straightforward. And if it is now a football match, do not even pretend to attack when your team players are disorganized. First of all, change the players. Get stable, stop getting goals, stop getting goals. When you stop getting goals, now start pushing your strikers to start now running and try and hit on the post. So first of all, get your team stable. Stop conceding goals. Stop conceding goals. When you stop, how do you stop conceding goals? Change the players. This government is changing players. We are going to stop conceding goals. And slowly now, we are going now to tell the striker, go there, go for it. Now they are not scoring anymore. So coming to the reality, our country needs Bamuna if we are not free. In Congo, if we don't have to hide, let us even explain to our fellow Zambians, what does this mean? In business status, it means we are not supposed to start getting a lot of profit immediately. But it's a move of stabilizing the economy. That's the first thing. Let's stabilize it. Then, investment no, but my plans, Bamuna, they are going to be slowly implemented. Slowly.
Is that offensive or defensive? Yes, I agree. Stopping the bucket from leaking, it's a good strategy. It's a good tactic, but it's defensive. Categorize my moves into offensive and defensive.
No, I
my
disagree.
point is doing both very well. Defend very well and do the offensive thing very well as well. You need to do both very well, especially if you have 5 goals to nil.
Right now, it's balancing the team.
Yeah.
We're not yet attacking. It's a balance. Let me give you an example of Chelsea. When Chelsea had Lampard, I'm sure you're a football fan and you follow. You saw what they were. When Tuchel came in, he didn't come in and start winning games straight away. No, he balanced the team first, got the defensive aspect of things very strong first before we went on to win that Champions League title. So that's I guess that's the phase we're in right now, balancing the team now, so that we know what now here at this point we can start attacking.
But Chombo, you've got time limitation. Unless the UPND is going to rule for 25 years.
No. I think the other thing that partially I blame it on the UPND, because one, they've not told us what they're going to achieve in the short term and in the long term, and then there's no time frame for what their plans are. But in terms of us giving the faith in these guys, let's give them enough rope to hang themselves. Because right now, if you are going to expect goals in the 15th minute, those are not going to come. So just wait. Maybe those goals will come in the 90th minute. Muna.
The big.
Do you
know the mind of an I'm a voters.
Do that in the first place. Are you willing?
You guys are very rational. You guys are like you're billionaires.
No.
Voters. You vote. You think voters are going to be able to say, no, guys, let's give them time and they'll understand. Next year is bloody elections in 2026.
Here's the thing, Mona. I think I mentioned it earlier. you know, you don't have, you know, in order to convince the electorate, you don't have to do things in the year of elections.
That is why you need to start tomorrow. You guys are agreeing with me.
You can start 2 years before. Right now, they still have a little bit of time to appease the electorate. But the thing is that let's give this guy a chance to genuinely do things right. Because if we are going to try to expedite the way things are done, and then he's going to make a lot of mistakes, and we're going to laugh at him. We are going to laugh at him.
Yeah.
Why do you think if he expedites the process, he's going to make mistakes?
No. Because those decisions are made haphazardly. You haven't thought about them.
Hire the right people, competent people.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You have to, you know, look at the process of policy formulation and make those, and then analyze everything. You know. Do we agree? Do you agree with? Are you agreeing with us right now?
No, I do not agree with you.
That's why the
I say hire competent people who can deliver. You see, if you've got one bullet, it doesn't mean that you need to waste that. You know, that bullet. You can still execute and produce good results in, you know, the dedicated amount of time. Just hire the right people who can execute and, you know, bring forth the results that you want.
What if those right people come in and say, we need time?
What do you mean? If they say
the same right people, they come in and they say, we need this space of time to get this done. Because
that's why you need to start doing it tomorrow, because you need to play offensive. You see,
but
that's what I'm saying. You shouldn't just defend. You should do both. And the faster you start doing it,
but you can't do. I don't feel like you can do both when you've got like you said the football analogy. Your defense is weak, and you expect your team to attack. It's like Manchester United before Ragnarok came in. When they attack, they're vulnerable at the back. They get hit.
But
they
if you don't, if you don't do anything, you get relegated. The game will be over.
True.
So you don't have the privilege of time. So what are you going to do? It's more like at your place, right? Yeah, you don't have rent money. The landlord doesn't care whether you've got the money or not. It's the month end. You need to pay up and you know, keep it moving. If you don't pay that, you get evicted.
And that's what we're doing right now. People are getting paid.
Yeah.
But that's defensive. Again, going back to my defensive, that's not offensive. Paying people is not really going to increase our GDP. I mean, it's not really going to. Well, I misspoke there. It can, you know, like improve our GDP if more people work and that stuff. But it's still not really going to give us that economic gigantic leap, if I can put it that way.
Okay, my question to you is, why did he go to Congo?
Why did he go? To see the market opportunities that are in Congo.
Exactly. So he's working on his defense. And right now he has.
How many previous presidents have gone to check out and explore market? Did we see any active deals and any active you know, things which are in the pipeline already, which are going to work?
I mean, that's a good
in the next
point.
3 years?
That's a very good point, but you can't put that on HH, because just because the past went there and didn't deliver doesn't mean HH won't. Let's wait and see. We can only wait and see. We can't start, oh, he's going to Congo 2 days later, we must see what he went to do in Congo. How?
No, you go to Congo, you start other ventures as well, and you just be offensive. Try to score as many goals as you can in this short period of time.
These things, I mean, things like this, I feel are only, you know, tangible later. You know, such things you don't just see immediately. Like, even like you said, paying these people and whatnot might not, you know, reflect on.
Okay, Mona, I have a question for you.
Yes.
We had ECL in government, right? And this guy tried to score goals as fast as he could. Look at how exorbitant the road contracts were. Look at the fire tenders. It's because, one, those things were just done to appease the people, and you know, I mean, look at the debt swap. So you are trying to
ECL had the wrong strategy and selfish
That's what we are saying.
But how are you going to put that on me? You should use the right strategy. If ECL used the bloody wrong strategies, then what? Use the right people, do the right things, and get tangible results without bringing later problems or problems in the future. He used the wrong strategy. That's on him. He played the game the wrong way.
Exactly. And why people are complaining is because HH is using a different way, isn't it?
Yes, so
but that's exactly what people want. Now that he's doing something differently, what's the problem? I mean, let's all agree to one thing. We all got used to the haphazard decision making in the PF.
Yeah.
We were all used to that haphazard thing. Now that things are at a stable state, it's like it's not normal for us. It's like way things are too slow. But no, that's how things are supposed to be. You don't just rush and expect things to be perfect at the end of everything. That's never how it's going.
How old is Zambia?
And okay. When you go there, then
you guys are so relaxed. You guys are so relaxed. Zambia is over 40 years. If you look at if we compete with other nations, we're doing very bad. Why are you guys so relaxed? We can't even compete in SADC or in Africa.
But is that a reason
we can't compete on the global scale. What do you mean there's no need to rush? Our people are languishing in poverty. We're doing very bad, and you guys are relaxed.
No,
we need to compete.
It's not about.
Just to add on what Chambo said, it's like this lady who is in an abusive relationship, right? The boyfriend beats him up all the time, and then she finds another boyfriend, and then for the same kind of errors, the guy doesn't beat her up. And then she's expecting to be beaten up, and then that's where you want us to go. So we are used to being beaten up. Let's just look at other ways of doing things, learn, and then let's observe, and then be patient.
Guys, Zambia is nowhere on the map with regards to the economy. We are 60 years behind.
That's why
you guys want to
right now. We are changing things right now so that we can catch up.
Anyway, Brother Oscar, come through. If it's Chimati, within 90 years, you're about to kick the bucket, and then you're like, I'll do it when I'm 105. No. Okay, maybe that was extreme.
Okay. Ramona, you are right. We are far much behind. You are right. We know where the problem is, where the problem lies. Our resources, we were used to export our resources. You are saying, how come the other countries they manage, we cannot manage? America goes and imports crude oil, and they bank them in America. They get it from outside, they bank the oil inside America. Italy comes to Angola. You know what we get from Angola? Ramona, try.
The oil thing.
Methane.
Either oil or natural, natural gas. Yeah.
Gas. We import 35% of Angola's gas from Angola. The Italians, they have managed. And what do? They owe the pipelines. They build the pipelines where they can transport the gas from Angola through Libya. From Libya, it enters into Italy. So they get the gas from Angola, they pump it in Italy.
That's an offensive move. The same with, that's not defensive. That's offensive move right there.
It is an offensive move. You are right. And that protect your country. You don't survive in exporting all your resources, and then if we export crude resources and you become rich. China has proved to be now one of the two big superpower in economy, because what did China do? My Italian architects, the best architects from Italy, they went to open their companies in China. They went from Italy. They left Italy, they went to China, and they took Italians who went to work in China. That's how China is competing with America, because they imported technicians, engineers, and they did the manufacturing in China. Zambia, as long as okay, mumulefaya kutampa attack na la tampira pot tampire polero lini.
Therefore, defense na attack. Get me clearly. Defense na do both things very good.
Defense na tutampako. Defense na tutampako. Corruption 0. 1. No cadreism. 2. Transparency. 3. Attack. Attack number 9. Attack number 9. Value addition. Value addition is going to be.
Which factories are being? Which factories?
Well, value addition is going to be on diamonds, and on gold, for example. Diamonds and gold. Let's not export them just like that. Let's not export them just like that. Let's open the industries, purifying industries in the bloody. Sorry, are we online? Are you on Zambian line?
Yes. So it's okay, but the viewers can bear with us because I've already used like a lot of bad words already. Sorry,
okay.
Sorry, viewers.
Okay. So let's, my dear friends, the attack is this now. Let us do the refinery thing in okay, we are not going to take everything away, but even a half. Let's just do half. We do the processing down there. That's our attack. We can now attack and we can fight. We are going to fight in that way. Otherwise, how do we compete? We cannot.
Yes. Now, Brother Oscar, you're leaning towards my hypothesis and my strategy, but the point still stands. Yes, they've got intentions. They said it, but it won't bring food on the table. They're not doing anything right. I haven't seen anything. I'm giving you an example. With the mines, they've already solved the mines. With regards to refineries, where's the crowdfunding if they don't have any money? Where are those steps that they are putting in soon? Because they are limited by time. But 90 minutes. They've got 2026 to come back to the people and say, Vane, this is what we did, and we're going to bring them.
Bamuna, we have already solved the mines. There is one way we can also solve that problem, especially the youth. Well, if we can try to come and correct that mistake. How? Let the government understand. Let the government go into the mine industry, understand how much is harvested in 1 year. How much? Why is it important to know that? It is important because mining mine 200 billion United States dollars. Mine 200 billion. If we to a large account, when we understand how much money we get in a year, papitas 12 years. To a lot of time, papita 12 years. Abantu nga wachitamu harvest zilio tuwashitisha mine. Nombanga wachitamu harvest $400 billion. Ifwe mine yalabwerera kuli ifwe. How can you give your resources to a foreigner? And you think this is normal? It's not normal. They saw it. Was it a mistake? Yes. Twachana pali bola. Imanga mwapanga mistake bamuna bola. Mubikiremo ina nkane mbutuma. Bamuna mwala mule kafe mukatifa fine. How do we solve the game? Mines. To a large calculate, we are going to sit down on the table. Let's get the money. Let's get not whether we are not going to get the money back. We are going to get our land back. I want my land back to me. This is because you must be crazy. You are sitting on money. And then land. And you are calling yourself a Zambian. How can I call myself a Zambian when I'm stepping on a land which somebody is taking their products? It doesn't make sense. Okay, how much did they sell? We are going to give them 5 years, 10 years to alaba pela. Okay, starting from tonight, to pele 10 years, so that number mine land yes it's going to be in our hands. If I'm not going to benefit in 10 years' time, at least I want them to benefit. Why should we continue making mistakes? Why should we continue? That's my question.
Yes. So, gentlemen, we call it a night. It's been 3 hours.
Well, just to add on, just a few words. The most important aspect that we are overlooking is that we had rotten medicine in the hospitals. There's like so many things that had gone wrong, and at that point, I think it'll be logical for us to focus more on the attack when our people are dying because of expired medicine.
No.
So,
Both.
right now, no. Let me
Why did you say attack? I'm saying both.
Allow me to agree with you. So in the same
so you're agreeing. Did I get that right?
No,
I'm kidding.
Yeah. So there's a whole bunch of things that these guys needed or need to fix before they can go full-fledged on and start attacking, right? So as I said, once these things, as I said, the most important aspect is for us to have or for them to give us a time frame. So by such and such a period, we'll have this done. So my prayer is that they can maybe do something, score a few goals so that they can
Brother Perry,
do a little bit.
There's a 5-year time frame already by default. There's a 5-year time frame.
Yes, I agree.
Within this time frame, they need to score.
Yes, the problem is that you are so you're like that lecturer who doesn't give any leeway for anything. You know what I mean? Because the thing is, we have this pandemic. You're forgetting that we have this pandemic. People are dying.
That's why they need to start scoring and doing things that are going to allow them to score. Yeah, they've got like half of the time because of this pandemic and the incoming recession.
But the thing is, you should look at let's say the achievement is incremental. What I mean is that don't expect them to start attacking right now when they haven't fixed their defense. You know what I mean? So, but what I'm saying is, like, again, is the president has to at least do a few things to show that he's attack minded as well, instead of being defensive all the time. But again, depending on the school of thought or whichever coach, you can be Mourinho, you can be defensive and defend all the time. But the thing is, let's not forget that one, people are not employed. People are hungry. People
all those good things are all defensive tactics.
They are defensive, but those are the people that vote. Because if you're going to go all attack and forget about the retirees that need to get their money, they haven't been
saying all attack. I said do both. Very good.
No,
why are you saying just attack? I'm saying do both. Very good.
Striking a balance that's going to satisfy you. What is the balance? Maybe what balance do you think the guys can do for them?
That's why we've got different formations. We've got balanced formations, attacking formations, and Brother Oscar, am I lying? There are defensive formations, balanced formations, and attacking formations. In this case, we need to balance up the game. Offend very well, defend very well.
But Wamuna, we need to choose what is our priority. Muchiremba bamuna balanda ati uwaekete fibiri nangwaekete pabiri achitirishani afuire kumenshi mwaumva bamuna. when you get waingira mumenchi mulingwena mumenchi yoro na ukwata na kabotolo kabwalo pansi ati awe nchilefana kena kona hii uwaikete tiviri afuire kumenchi, you end up drawing when you are holding two things at the same time. Our priority in our chosen, like I think Mr. Perry have said, what is the priority for Zambia now? Close the loops, recover whatever resources we can, then Wamuna, we will start attacking. If we attack with this defense of ours, we don't even know my defenders to Kwete. My defenders to Kwete, they are our enemies. Can you understand
Brother
that?
Oscar, in 5 years, give me a time frame. 2 years for defending, or give me a time frame in 5 years.
I would say we defend, first of all, we have to defend very heavily in 1 year. 1 year, let us defend ourselves. I will just give a 1 year. 1 year, Mr. Muna, let us not even start dreaming of attacking. Let's defend ourselves. In the second year, we will start now, going forward. But
recession hits. Recession hits in the second or third year.
Let's not go very fast on that. I think if the recession can come before 2 years, then we have no option. There is nothing we can do. We cannot go and defend ourselves against a recession if we have not paid. We have not paid pensioners. We have not paid teachers. We have not employed teachers, not employed nurses, not stabilized. The problem with the KCM mine, problem with the KCCM. Remember that also the gold mine, there are problems there. It's not yet stable. They closed, they stopped. We don't know how it's going to start moving. So priority, our priority should be, let's close all the loops. Let's now fix a credible defense system. After we have done that, twalafunyako na bamoba mama strikers abali kuntansha bashingisha tukafunyako inana alikwata bamoba na ba UPND bamwa kwa tete bengishe na bola na bala bene tukabafunyako ngababafunyako. I'm telling you, bamuna, we will start scoring.
Okay.
And just to add on, right now, if you're going to rush into attacking, we are going to attack, and then when HH is gone, go back.
Can you use both? Because if you just say do both, is it impossible to do both at the same time?
No. The most important
it's dangerous. It's dangerous. It's dangerous. It's dangerous.
The most important aspect right now is to stop the road going forward, 100 years going forward, and those are the things they should like close all those lacunas, so at least we as citizens are going to be enlightened. Even if we HH like he has maybe 2 terms, somebody comes where we are going to learn how to assess these leaders. They put in somebody who's going to add value on what the other guy has done. It has to be incremental. It doesn't have to be one part like we 10 years and then after that we go 21 years backwards. No. So for you to do that, you need a proper defense. You have a proper defense, somebody comes in and wants to change things, people are going to say no. But if you need, if you want attack, you have leaders like ECA who come and then will be buying those fire trucks. No one will say anything because there's no defense.
Yes.
I keep on saying do both very well. Why is it impossible to do both very well?
For me,
you can defend and attack very well.
No, for me personally, I'm going to give him 2 years to fix the defense, and then the 3 years to attack. That's
Bola in 5-0, Kade.
Yeah.
Bola in 5-0. You guys, where are you getting this relaxed demeanor from? You're already in the game when you never mulo Bola. Never me Pola Kade. 5-0.
You are forgetting
because when you are a big team, you have to learn also to digest some failures. When you are a big team, we are going to learn to digest. We are telling the Zambians, all Zambians, our appealing is this: let us first of all digest all the sadness, all the failures. We need to digest. Mr. Muna, this is your responsibility. It's my responsibility to especially explain to the less privileged brothers and sisters, especially in the rural areas, to learn. First of all, let us learn and accept. If everyone say we are going to pay a price, which we are not the cause, other people have caused this. We are going to learn as a big team. Let's learn that abantu bali tuingishisha 5 goals in Inshaliko. I was not there, but they have made us conceive 5 goals. So this is our reality. To asuminisha, okay, then asuminisha, we are 5 goals down, and I accept. Now, the next time we never about the defense, let us make it solid. Whilst we are making the defense solid, we are changing our strikers Wamuna now, and then we will start to Kawalo Pola. We will start fighting.
But I'm a strikers now, Muchinja Kare, your best team. We had elections. The strikers have you've got the squad and you've got no more substitutions. This is the team. Nia Mene, the best team. 25 years in opposition. This is your best team. Now Mwingira Kare. Which substitutions are you talking about?
Mona, at this time, I will tell you what my father told me before he died. He said, my son, the world won't give you a chance to make all the mistakes that are there. Learn from other people's mistakes. So at this point as well, the UPND, they need to look at what PF did wrong. They need to look at what MMD did wrong. Correct. They need to look at what Kaunda did wrong. And then look at other things that they did well, and then benchmark. Select all those good things that they did, put them together, and then you'll find that they are going to make this country better than it is. Because if they are waiting for us to allow them to make all the mistakes that are there.
But why are you assuming that if you go on attacking, you're going to make a mistake? Why?
No,
where is this attitude coming from? You can be well calculated. You can be well calculated and think about your moves and attack. Why do you always
we have our legs tied, defaulting. We are not free to run in the pitch. How can we attack? Mr.
Use other methods. Crowdfunding. You can crowdfund. You can use other methods to make money, to raise money. You're not entirely tied.
Well, that one you can suggest if you want. I think that one you can suggest. But
the diaspora can come in.
Why are we saying first of all we defend? We are saying we defend because we have our legs tied because of the many deaths, Mr. Man. It's a reality. It's not a fairy tale. It's true.
Yes, but the IMF has given them stuff. They've got this leeway.
Mr. Mona, why did the IMF refuse to give money to ECL? It's because the defense was weak.
The conditions, yeah.
No, but the PF never had a defense.
Yes, but now we've gotten it, right?
Yes.
So we move on.
It's not complete. We have to seal all those holes, all those lacunas, like make sure that the bucket is not leaking anymore. And as I said, the most important, let's not look at achieving things for the 5 years. Maybe that's a mistake that we are making. We want something that is progressive. We want change that even my kids are going to enjoy. But if we're just going to look at patching the little holes, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. Let's look at fixing the country.
Singapore did it. They defended and they scored games. Why do you always have to fail?
And they were helped. They were helped by America. Please, let's also. The Singapore was helped also by the Americans very much. They received a lot of cash. Just like it's Italy. Italy is okay. These guys, the Americans and the European Union, has given Italy to brief 250 billion euros. 250 billion. You get the point? The African Union does not have any idea. We have no money. We don't have our African bank. The Europeans, they have the European Euro Bank. That's why they share, even when they are in crisis, they help each other with money. 1.5 billion yako, now but it's too small. Compare it with 240 billion they have given to Italy. Why giving Italy 240 billion and giving Zambia 1.4? Why? Because these guys here, they will be deducting. Europe has given them and they have to pay back in 20 years. 20 years, serious deduction. And the people, the Italians, they know that we are paying back the Euro bonds for the next 20 years. So in Zambia, we have no assurance which bank ifwe twabakwati tulasonka kokwati nifirati ichilimba tatwakwata mu Zambia mu Africa na sadik yesu if it does not guarantee us this, the credit is coming from our shop.
Yes, I've gotten your point, Brother Oscar. Can I chime in and give you this is the same situation whereby some people come from privileged families and you don't. Let's say you're a student, right? You've got your classmate. He comes from a rich and wealthy family. You, unfortunately, you're not so fortunate. You have to struggle for everything. So are you going to be like, well, since my friend is coming from a privileged background and, let me just die in my little corner. You have to do something about it. If it means you're going to sell and staying up night, do it. Get yourself out of that particular situation. You're not privileged enough. So work extra hard, be much more creative. You just can't lie there and say, just because these other people, they've got rich parents and all that stuff, me, I'll just be miserable in this little corner and I'll give up. So what? This is now when you have to go crazy with it. Do whatever it takes. If it means you sleeping 2 hours, do it. Because you're not from a privileged family.
I can suspect, Mr. Muna, that is the reason why Hakainde Hichileman's government, they have given that 5 years tax-free to these people. They have asked them the question. They asked Hakainde Hichileman's government, how are you going to pay back the money? Oh my goodness, my battery is off. I have to sign out. Thank you, guys.
All right.
Thank you very much.
We'll continue fighting some other day. But guys, I genuinely love you. Don't take it personal. I love you, Thank
you.
All right, okay, goodbye, Brother Oscar. Yes, Brother Perry.
Yes, as I was saying, I'll say it again. The most important aspect is, the agency matrix, and that's what the guy is doing. Is looking at what are the critical issues that have to be resolved right now. And I remember when he mentioned that his all investments they have to be Zambian people have to own at least is it 49 or 51, 49, something like that. So the most important aspect right now is to create that enabling environment for investment. That's defense, right? So once we have done that, with the IMF deal that this guy is secured, it's gonna add that credibility. Zambia will be like a desired haven for investments. But if let's say we have a poor healthcare, we have all that, these people are going to come to us with their terms because we are desperate. We're going to get them. Okay, so the most important aspect right now is try to lick up all those, seal up all those loopholes that we have a strong defense system. Once that's done, and then we you know, you can allow your strikers to play with the ball because you know that things are okay, you know. So I'm right now, I'm happy that you know, with the money they got from IMF, it's gonna give them, it's buying them a little bit of more time to you know, to make sure that the wheels of the economy are running, and then that's what we need. That's basically what I can say. The goals are going to come. We're going to change some, as Mr. Pombo said, we're going to change some strikers, but the most important aspect is, one, to ensure that the people are paid, people are employed, because we also get taxes from those people, right? So if the government is not paying them, where are they going to get the money? So, you know, make sure that the people are paid, people are employed, and then we go on attack, because everyone will be happy. But again, the UPND government they have to really look into the plight of these farmers, because the promises that he made of fertilizer being 250, I think that was tough, but he has to address those that because most of the farmers, if those guys are annoyed, then that's it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. Okay. Thanks, Brother Perry. Thanks for the fight. I'm looking forward to having another fight tomorrow. Of course, you know, like no disrespect, and we love having these.
Yeah, you have to agree to disagree. So right now, I think nobody has won.
Yeah, of course, you know, at least the viewers benefited, and there's so different opinions and all that stuff. So I'm not here to win or lose. We're just giving our.
Yeah.
Definitely. All right. Okay. So let's pass it over to Brother Chambo. Brother Chambo, your concluding remarks.
Okay, just to conclude for me, first of all, first things first, I think we've already started scoring the goals. One of the goals we've scored was winning the election with the president that, you know, at least the majority Zambians wanted. For me, that's already a plus. That's already hope that there's a better future. And I hope my fellow youths out there and Zambians can just, you know, let's be patient. That's the key right now. We were so used to, you know, random business, random things, you know, just anything unusual became normal in Zambia for a long time, and it was very, very unsatisfying to see, you know. But for me, I just feel like there's hope in many Zambians, and we have the right people at the driving wheel. So let's just be patient and let's see what this government has for us. We'll be the same people criticizing them if they fail. We'll be the same people to vote them out. So let's just have hope and support them. And another key part of this team that we are forgetting is me and you. You know, we also have to play our part in order for this to be a success. You know, it's not just the government all the time. You know, let's play our part.
Yeah. Slogan of Zambians. Boma Yanganepo.
It's been like that for years. Let's change the mindset and, you know, start pushing ourselves as individuals. So yeah, that's just my final comment. Thanks for the opportunity, Mon.
Yeah, you should be joining and you know, be part.
I actually watch your lives all the time. I just don't join in.
Yeah, next time just, you know, turn on your videos so that people can see
no
like
problem,
who's talking.
No problem. Sure.
All right, okay, so have a good night. Go on, Perry.
Well, I just want to say good night to everyone who was watching us, and have a lovely weekend.
Yes, so have a great night. You obviously heard our views and our opinions, and we will be back again for some more, you know, interesting stories and conversations. So have fun, take care, and God bless.
All right, good night.